Recently, Tyler made a video about why he left 2hype, and in that video, he made a lot of false claims about me and manipulated different events and left out a lot of the story. So in this video, I'm gonna give you guys a timeline of events so you guys have context of the full story. And then I'm going to react to every point Tyler has made in his video and respond to them. But before we get into that, I'm not asking you guys to sympathize with me. All I'm asking is that you watch the entire video before you form an opinion on the subject. As a lot of you guys know, me and Tyler have been friends since elementary school, and in high school, I started doing really good at YouTube, dropped out of school, went to go do it full time. I was super successful with it, and in that time, I wanted to bring up my friends, so I taught Tyler how to edit and helped him make videos, and then eventually got him to move into the 2hype house at the time. And having Tyler in the house was amazing. We were really good friends. We hung out. I was in his videos. He was in my videos. Then we moved to Calabasas for a new house. Still same thing going on. Me and Tyler, we hang out all the time. Like, you're my friend. I loved hanging out with you. We made videos together, just countless videos on your channel, countless videos on my channel. In March, I moved out of the house, and the reason I moved out of the house was because I needed more space. I had one bedroom, but I had multiple employees in person. I'm trying to run different businesses. I needed my own space, and it's always been a dream to purchase my own home, and that is why I moved out. As Tyler stated in his video, he's been going through an addiction. Now, this had been going on for a while, but when I left the house in March, it got worse throughout the year, and I never got to fully understand the full extent of it. Later in the year, we were in negotiations with 100 Thieves to sign with them, and Tyler was on board with this, but it wasn't until like the last minute of negotiations, Tyler actually backed out of the deal and told us he didn't want to be a part of the 100 Thieves deal. Tyler explained to us that he didn't want to be part of the 100 Thieves deal because of the contract and the obligations that came with it, and we said, okay, you can still be part of 2hype, you just won't do the 100 Thieves obligations. And that's what we agreed to for some time, but then Tyler expressed to us he didn't want to be part of the group either, and Tyler was going through it mentally at the time, going through addiction. So we talked to him as a group, and we came to the decision that, you know, go to rehab, get your mind right, take time. If you still don't want to be part of the group when you get back, you know, think about it for a while. You don't have to be part of the group, but don't make this life-changing decision until you get your mind right. Tyler went to rehab, and about 20 days later, he came back, and there wasn't much communication when Tyler came back. I texted him a little bit, but I felt like he was avoiding me. For example, he came to the house to drop off something for my roommate, Rick, but didn't come inside to talk to me. James came to his door, knocked on it. You wouldn't even open the door to talk to James after you came back from rehab. Shortly after that, your dad emailed us demanding documents. And to give context on Tyler's dad, Tyler, over the years, you've only said negative things about your dad. I've only had limited experiences with him, but you always expressed to me that your dad was a negative influence. As you can see, this email shows Tyler's dad reaching out for these documents. Now, while this was happening, Tyler's dad met with our manager and made physical threats on multiple people in the group. And as you can see, Tyler talks about it in this clip.
The reason that Chris hired security was because my dad. I had a talk with my dad, and I told him everything that has gone on, and my dad sat down with our manager at the time, my ex-manager, and he told him, and he threatened Chris.
Multiple people had to hire security because they did not feel safe. Tyler, you never messaged anyone once apologizing for what your dad did. The only thing you messaged us after that was threatening emails, threatening legal action. We did not give Tyler's dad those documents he requested because he threatened our safety. People had to hire security. He has zero right to those documents that he's requesting. Tyler does. Tyler did not ask for them. It's coming from his dad. He then sent another email requesting even more documents from us. It is a very, very long email, and there's a lot of private information. As you can see, it's blurred, but I will read different sections from it. I will look forward to hearing from an officer of 2hype Court. If I do not hear back within a reasonable and appropriate time frame based on the fact that my earlier email was ignored, which I explained why it was, I will stop all communication and bring legal action on behalf of Tyler Glenn Mopi against all parties mentioned in this email. And Tyler never mentioned the fact that he came at us legally first. If no criminal violations occurred, then all being accused will be vindicated, and those who have accused with be left to lick their wounds. But if the violations did occur, you ignore this email, this sees the inside of a courtroom. All penalties will be enforced to the fullest extent of the law, and no friendly considerations will be given to any party. And then at the end of the email, this is how we found out Tyler was leaving 2hype. It was an email from his dad that had legal threats, and it said, "In closing, I would like to remind you all that Mopi walked away from 2hype for moral and ethical reasons that involve the actions both personally and professionally of the 2hype members, and he was not pushed out or forced out." The plan was for when Tyler got back from rehab to tell us whether he wanted to be in the group, how he was feeling, but no, you didn't come to us, you didn't have a group discussion with us. We've had to find out from your dad in an email where you're literally threatening us with lawsuits, Tyler. You couldn't have come and talked to us after everything we've been through. We had to find out through an email. We could have made everything mutual. Nothing had to be a back and forth attack. There had to be no legal action. But no, this is how everything happened. And keep in mind, Tyler, everything before rehab, we're meeting, we're talking to each other, you come back, stop talking to us, and threaten us legally. But in your video, you make it seem like we're coming after you legally when this has been going on for over a month. There are more threats in this email. We replied telling him, you are not Tyler's power of attorney, which basically means he'd be able to sign for Tyler, act as if he was Tyler. And what he responded with was a middle finger. Then from that point on, all of the emails started coming from Tyler's own email. During this time when Tyler was threatening us with legal action, he was still living in the house. So we pretty much told him like, dude, you have to leave in 30 days. You haven't paid rent in 8 months. You're suing your friends and your dad is physically threatening us and you won't talk to us. This was a back and forth email about living in the house. I'm gonna paraphrase because it's kind of a lot. He was asking for information on the lease. He thanked us for that. Chris wasn't living in the house. The washer and dryer were his. He took them. As for me not making any payments on rent for the past 8 months, you must provide me with a complete financial breakdown that involves all members of 2IPE that are leaseholders and subleaseholders and the rent due and paid from each to substantiate that I have not completed rent payments as needed. Also, if I'm not mistaken, there was money directly taken from 2IPE court checking account and paid toward rent. Please provide the financial details on that point as well, if in fact it did happen, or prove to me that it did not happen. Now, the 2IPE Corporation started subsidizing the 2IPE house rent as we were filming a bunch of different videos there. We all agreed on that. We all had to pay less rent, and Tyler, you just never paid rent, and now you're asking for documents that prove that. We're friends, bro. It's a discussion about rent. It's not like, oh, Tyler, I'm gonna make a document that says you owe me this rent every month and hold you to it. It's like, nah, bro, like that's your rent. Later in the emails, he says, I'd like to add that you emailing 3 members that are not leaseholders, but only subleaseholders, one, in fact, is not even involved in this matter, is unlawful conduct on your part. What he's talking about, we added Cash to the email because Cash is in 2IPE. He's been involved in all these legal things too. He's part of the group. So we just added him to the email. And he's literally saying, do it again and I will bring legal action against you for defamation of character, and I'm not threatening you, I am promising you. Because we added Cash to an email chain, Tyler said this. This is coming straight from Tyler. I am not threatening you, I am promising you. And then he said, furthermore, if you stop paying utilities, I will bring legal action against all leaseholders because with subleaseholders, it would be unlawful contact to do so. We never did that. The utilities never turned off. Mitchell lived there at the time, but he actually moved out because he was afraid to run into Tyler because of the threats with his dad and everything that was going on legally. He moved back in with his parents. Tyler ended the email saying, I look forward to one day hearing from Jesse and Mitchell what I possibly could have done to make them afraid of me, for I've known them since 1st grade. As for Zach, James, and Cash, wow, what can I say? They are afraid of me. Tyler, you won't even talk to me at this time? We talked about the house stuff. Now back to the documents. Tyler started requesting them under his email. He asked them. So we set up a time and place for him to view the documents, which was at the 2IPE house where Tyler was living. And the 4-hour window we set up for Tyler to view all the documents he asked for, he left the house and he just never showed up. So all of this back and forth about the emails, we set up a time. He literally didn't show up. After that, more time had passed. Tyler stopped sending threatening emails and got an actual lawyer. And now we've been dealing with that back and forth. During this time, we won the Streamies Award. It was a really big night for us. And on that night, Tyler quote tweeted it and put L-hype, except for Cash and Mitchell, they're cool. And then after that, we send you a cease and desist letter because making all of this public is a lose-lose situation for both of us. And in that cease and desist letter, it literally says we want to resolve this in a mutually agreeable manner. None of this has to be online. In your tweet about the cease and desist, you say they're not victims, don't fall for it. Yet you've been threatening to sue us legally for weeks and literally just won't talk to us. And then after that, you dropped your video painting a lot of us in an extremely bad light. And it's so crazy to me because Tyler, all these things you're expressing in your video, you never expressed to me in person. When you got back, it's like you flipped a switch on our friendship. Everything you said in your video, you never discussed with me in person. But now let's get into Tyler's video so I can address each point he makes.
And getting into talking about everything, they sent me a cease and desist letter. So I do need to be careful with what I'm saying because they're threatening to sue me. I've literally only said L-hype and I'll be making a video and they're already sending me a cease and desist letter. Like, what does that tell you? Like, they're willing to do and say anything. I'll be going into a lot more later about that, but yeah, I'm gonna be talking about a lot.
Tyler, you saying the only thing you've done is put out a tweet is a complete lie. You threatened us with legal action on November 21st. You put out this tweet on December 12th. You're literally lying and manipulating your audience. You said you had to be careful because of the cease and desist letter. I feel like I have to be careful because you've threatened to sue me and your dad has threatened to sue me. And you guys are probably going to threaten to sue me for this video.
But I've just been completely used, used and abused, like used online, my Mopi personality.
You claimed we abused you as Mopi. I assume this is reference to the Mopi abuse trend. But Tyler, me and you and the group have had countless conversations talking about the Mopi abuse thing, but you always told us you were cool with it and you ran with it on your own channel too. You kept that trend up on your own channel. Every 100,000 subscribers, you would do a video of us hurting you, Tyler, and you've always reassured us that the Mopi abuse stuff was okay and you did it on your own channel.
And abused, like, as Tyler. Like, everybody just forgetting about Tyler and only caring about Mopi, and Mopi showing up for the videos. Everybody just doesn't care about Tyler, and they're gonna say otherwise. Like, when I put out my tweet, they all just tried saying they helped me out more than anyone, showing texts of support, like all that stuff. But no, I'm not having some fake agenda. Like fake agenda that went out with like TD and Los go out there. Like, I'm saying the truth.
Tyler, I've known you since kindergarten. There has never been a hidden agenda in our friendship. I've known you for over 10 years and you've been one of my closest friends. And I genuinely believe what I said in my tweet is true. I taught you how to edit and make videos. I gave you an opportunity to move into the house and I promised you I would pay for your entire first year of rent for free while I helped you build your own career. And then even after that first year, you would go months without paying me, but because you were one of my closest friends, I let it slide and I took responsibility for that. And besides the YouTube stuff, Tyler, I tried to help you become an adult. You never had a credit card, you never had a credit score. We had multiple discussions about, Tyler, this is what you need to get a credit card. This is the step-by-step process. But you say I don't care about Tyler, but I don't want one of my closest friends to be a grown man with no credit score. Like, you literally act like I never tried to help. Did you want me to drive you to the bank and talk to the teller for you? I don't understand. I also helped you with all of your videos because I wanted you to succeed alongside me and do this together. And Tyler, did I only care about Mopi when we all had to get together at my house? You got drunk, went on the mini ramp, and continuously tried hurting yourself and were falling every time. I pulled you off multiple times. I was so scared and I didn't want to see you get injured as my friend. I love you. I don't want to see anyone get injured. I had to pull you off multiple times, but I just don't care apparently. I'll talk about all this more later in the video, but I genuinely feel I've always tried to help you, Tyler, not Mopi, with what you're going through.
Yeah, going into each one of the individuals that I have issues with, I'll start out with Jesser, because everybody's probably wondering, like, wasn't that your friend since elementary school? It's like, yeah, he was. He's gone though. It's just Jesser. There is no Jesse. And he's been doing some really nasty stuff that I don't ever care to see him again or talk to him again. First of which, that happened more recently, but I'll get into stuff that happened over the year and past years. And Chris was supporting this too. But Jesse saying I'm fighting serious demons and he's worried about me and basically just painting me out to be like mentally unstable because I put out my L-Hype tweet. Like, I can't describe how I feel about the manipulation and like the disgust for what he's doing.
Tyler, the reason I said you were fighting demons is because I didn't want to publicly tell everyone you were going to rehab. I didn't want to publicly say you were going through an intense addiction. That's very personal and it wasn't my place to say that. I also said don't fuel someone who's not okay. I apologize for this comment. It was insensitive. In the moment when I made that video about you, I was extremely emotional. And Tyler, you were going through it mentally. As you discuss later in the video, you talk about how you're drinking, you're smoking, you're vaping, you're hurting yourself. You said these things in the videos. You were going through it. You were fighting demons.
Yeah, I've been abusing the sauce, the devil's lettuce. I'm not saying the word for demonetization or whatever, but yeah, I've been abusing that, nicotine, and in the past year, alcohol, like really badly.
Tyler, I apologize that my words were portrayed as calling you mentally unstable. That was never my intention when I said you were fighting demons. I believed it was appropriate to say this because I didn't want to expose private information about your substance abuse, and Tyler, you were going through a battle with yourself. As you said, you were going through a really bad period of your life this year. It was never meant to call you mentally unstable at all.
I never thought that getting into YouTube years down the line, I would be having my own brother manipulated by Jesser and tried to be used against me as a manipulation strategy by him to make people think that he cares about me and that he's reaching out to my family to support me. Like I can't even, like, it's crazy. I'm speechless. I don't know how to form words right now because it's so ridiculous.
This is my fault. I definitely should not have mentioned your mother or your brother in the video. That was inappropriate of me. When I did make the video, it was very emotional. Your brother called me after. I apologized to him. Do I regret talking to your mom or your brother? No, absolutely not. The reason I reached out to your brother is I expressed my concerns about you hurting yourself, Tyler. There were things that you did that you didn't tell him about and you were hurting yourself, and I was concerned as a friend. And same thing with your mom. That's what I reached out to her about, was you hurting yourself because I'm worried about you. So no, I don't regret reaching out to your family. Do I regret putting it online and mentioning it publicly? Yes, 100%. I should not have done that. That was my fault.
After I saw Jesse talk about my brother in his video, and my mom too, which is 100% not okay with me, I texted my brother, and this is what he said. I can't imagine how weird it was for him to be talking to Jesser, and like, they've never talked before, and he's trying to make it out like he was trying to help me by talking to him on the phone, and then he just said online, like, he's like, I don't even know what to say.
Tyler, you say I've never talked to your brother before. This is simply a lie. I've known you since kindergarten. He's your brother. He's come to the house many times. We've done videos together, literally on your channel, so I have talked to your brother before. Yes, I did express to your brother about the hate because I didn't want it to be a back and forth, a lose-lose situation of us dropping videos together. I was talking to Preston about how we could keep this offline. And obviously, as I said earlier, I was expressing my concerns of you hurting yourself to him. And if you meant I had never talked to him on the phone or about your addiction or what you're going through with him, yes, that is true. That was the first time I talked to him about it, because I didn't have any way to communicate with you, Tyler, so I had to go to your family to express my concerns as a friend.
And the eyes too, like, he probably just rubbed his eyes and started to just get watery eyes. Like, it's an act. It's all a manipulation act. He does not care. He only cares because he wants to uphold his online image. That's all he cares about. That's all they all care about. That's it. And they'll say and do anything to keep that.
Tyler, you said I rub my eyes as a manipulation tactic to look sad, when this whole back and forth, like, this has been some of the lowest points of my life. This situation is literally the only thing I've been able to think about in the last month. I can't even sleep at night without thinking this. This is extremely emotional, this situation for me. And to you acting like, oh, I'm just rubbing my eyes? What? Bro, I've always loved you, and then I get betrayed. This whole situation is extremely personal and emotional to me.
I gotta take accountability for not being entirely open with how bad things were with me this year, but I was open enough and things were visible enough to see that I needed help, and Jesse was never there for me. Jesser. It's not even Jesse anymore. It's just Jesser was never there for me.
This is a flat out lie, and this one hurts so much because, Tyler, I cared about you so much throughout the year and tried really hard to help you. Tyler, I tried my best to help you. I tried to reach out to you. Am I a trained professional? No. You're my first friend that's ever gone through an addiction. I don't know how to perfectly fix it or help you, but dude, I did try. And it's like an example like this text. No worries, let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with, bro. It's all good, dude. Just needs time. Thank you. It's like, I would give you opportunities for you to express what was happening and tell me, but you would just bottle it in inside. I really got into meditation, priming this dude named Tony Robbins who tries to help people like get their mind together. I sent Tyler a lot of that stuff to try to help him through it because that's what helped me. And I thought, you know, maybe this will help Tyler. Even right here, Tyler texts me that he's gonna be in my videos, but he didn't want to record his own. And I was like, dude, you don't have to do that. Just take it easy. And he says, I'll sit it out. And then I ask him, yo, let's go work out. Let's meditate. You know, something good for you, something that's helped me mentally. Like, this is an opportunity to help you, Tyler, and you don't respond. I read a lot of books about mental health and self-motivation, so I would send those to Tyler because that's what helped me from my experience. And it's like he would say, I really appreciate you sending this stuff to read and listen to, dude. The other stuff like Kevin Hart's book and Chop Wood, 2 other motivational books. He's like, I want to read and finish sometime. I'm going to be honest, I can't really get behind what this guy's about. I'm really happy it's helping you a ton though. Tyler doesn't really like Tony Robbins. That's okay. He helped me. I tried to send it to him. I reached out to Tyler, yo, bro, let's talk one-on-one soon. Let me know when you can. We're gonna figure all this out. I love you. We're all here for you and want the best. Definitely talk soon. And Tyler, like, you expressed things like, oh, we didn't help you clean your room. I'm saying let's talk Thursday. If you need any help with your things, let me know. All you have to do is ask me. When I reached out to you with these messages, Tyler, there was no ulterior motive or manipulation. I wanted to help you. You were my friend. For example, what are you doing tonight? You want to talk things through or just vibe? Like, I was trying to help you, Tyler. I'm sorry I didn't do a better job at helping you. I genuinely am, but I hope you know I tried. When I moved out, I was extremely busy, yet I still put in effort and tried to help you, Tyler. I had gotten a house for the first time. I went through a breakup of a near 2-year relationship that was extremely hard on me. I'm running multiple different companies, multiple different YouTube channels, managing other YouTube channels. I have a ton of stuff going on, but I genuinely did try to help you while I was doing all of that. And I'm sorry I didn't put more time. I'm sorry. Like, looking back, I wish I could have helped you with all this more. I genuinely do, dude. And it makes me so sad that it's gotten to this point. I got all our friends together and I made a challenge. It was called Sober October, as in the text. The rules: the winner gets 1,000 cash, I will supply. Last 2 places have to take the rest of the boys out to dinner. Me and Todd made the list. So I'm gonna blur out this list because it's bad. One of the main reasons I did this challenge is because I wanted to help you, but you didn't even make it to the first day. Like, I can try to help you, but I can't force you, Tyler. Like, if you take a horse to water, you can't force it to drink. I tried to help you, bro. You didn't take my help. And at the time, like, I wanted to get sober too. I'm not perfect either. These 2 text messages, when you went to rehab, you didn't hit me back up. I know you were texting other people, but you decided not to hit me back up. Until after you got back, we texted back and forth a little bit, but then obviously everything switched when you started threatening us. And all of these things I showed were just text messages. I showed those as proof because it's physical proof that I did try to help you, Tyler. As you say, I didn't try to help you. Tyler, you're forgetting about all the personal conversations we've had about this. You act like we've never discussed this. This was a major thing throughout the year. We've had many discussions about it. Obviously, Tyler, when I did live in the house, we were way closer. We talked about things a lot more. Yes, when I moved out, we didn't talk as much. It's just part of not living with each other. But you're forgetting all the countless conversations we've had in person too, where we have talked about what you're going through, and you're just acting like this never happened. I also wanted to include this clip as it shows an example of one of the times we met as a group and discussed what was going on with Tyler.
I remember when we had a talk outside, Mopi was saying that he was going to go get help or whatnot. Jesse was crying. I can never forget how the face, the face Jersey had, like he was disappointing himself because he felt like that he could have did more for Mopi. That's the energy I had felt from him, man.
When I talked to him in person and he said I hugged him and tried to use it against me, whatever, like he hugged me. I wish I said just like, I don't get away, like whatever. But yeah, he asked me what my goal was with the L-Hype tweet and if I wanted a bag. Like, he wasn't going there to check on me or really talk to me. He made me feel bad. He tried to make me feel bad about the hate he was getting.
Tyler, I did hug you. I hugged you because I loved you and I care about you as a friend. Also, after that conversation, you texted Mitchell that I exposed you to coronavirus. Why do you think I have these hidden agendas going at you? You think I'm hugging you to give you coronavirus? I don't have any hidden agenda against you, Tyler. I love you as a friend. I did ask you what your goal was with the L-Hype tweet because it came to a complete shock to me. And then you saying right after, you asked me if I wanted a bag. What I asked you is, why did you get lawyers involved? Was it for a bag? Because you're obviously leaving the group, right? You have a couple options when you leave the group. You can agree to a buyout where you sell your shares to the company, getting a bag. Or do you want to just own your percentage of the company, leave the group, but still try to make money off it by having a percentage? Or did you want to give your shares back? Did you want to give them to Mitchell? I still don't understand why you have lawyers and why you're demanding these documents. You've never made it clear what you want, and I was trying to figure that out because we are in the dark. You're skewing conversations because in that conversation we talked about you being sober, but we literally only talked for 10 minutes because you said you had to go and you just left. Like, I would have loved to sat down with you in hours and go back and forth because of all this legal stuff. We didn't talk for a while, and this is our first time talking. You can only give me 10 minutes. Also, Tyler, in this conversation I had with you, I asked you when in your life you ever felt you couldn't ask me something and I wouldn't say yes to it. And this is what you told me. You said, when I asked you to hide my devil's lettuce, you didn't. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. I'm gonna be honest, I felt in a weird position having to do that. It made me uncomfortable, and I didn't want you going through my room looking for it. It's like, if you want me to hide it, dude, just throw it away. Don't put it on me. And you feel like this is the only time I've said no to you in your life, I am sorry, Tyler. I wish I could have helped more with that situation, and looking back, I wish I did. Addressing the part where you say I tried to make you feel bad for all the hate I was getting, yes, I was pretty upset about it. It's caused me to be at some of the lowest points of my life, hearing everyone say I snaked my best friend like this. While I still don't understand this hatred that's built up for me that you've bottled in, that's just released. I don't understand it, where it's came from. You've never addressed these problems to me in private, Tyler. Never. You just go online after everything we've been through and start talking shit.
The fact that he tries using the rent that he helped me out with and that he helped me out with my channel in the first place, and he uses that against me to like keep me under his thumb, it's terrible. It's not friendship. That's not a friend.
When have I ever used me helping you with your channel, helping you pay rent against you? Never in my life have I been like, oh dude, I paid your rent. Oh, I helped you with your channel. You owe me this. No, we never even talk about that. That's never even been brought up between us, Tyler. The reason I helped you is because you're my friend. It's not some manipulation tactic to get you to do things for me. And Tyler, yes, earlier in the video, I did bring up the rent and some of the things I did for you, but that was just to show I care as a friend, as you made this video saying I don't.
Because of all the stuff that's been happening, I wish I never took his help. And I almost wish I didn't go move into the YouTube house in Yorba Linda. I wish I just went to college sometimes and didn't get like this deeply involved in any of this, because how bad it's turned out. Like I've literally just been a pawn, I feel like, to his grind to 10 million subscribers. Like he helped me out with that stuff, but it's all because he just needs people around him to make videos.
Tyler, before you even moved in, I was living with YouTubers. I had YouTubers around me. I've had people to make my content. I don't need you to make content. I wanted you to move in because you were my boy, and I wanted you to have your own career, your own YouTube channel. And yes, did I want you to be a part of my journey? Hell yeah, bro, you were one of my closest friends. I wanted you to be in all my videos, and I helped you with all of yours too. You're saying I used you as a pawn when that's simply not true. And Tyler, once again, you have never expressed this way you're feeling to me. I never knew you felt like this at all. You hid it from me. Like, I wish we could have talked about this. I wish you would have came up to me and be like, bro, I feel like you're using me. And I wish we could have talked it out, because these are such ridiculous claims.
Supporting that feeling that I have of being just used. When we made the VR channels, he took 51% of my VR channel. Like, all those channels were just started up for money because the VR channels were the fastest growing at the time. He took 51% of my channel and then bragged about it. Like, I heard that, and he'll deny that or whatever, but that shit stuck in my brain, and I could never believe how this dude can say that about his elementary school friend that he owns, like, his channel, and like, that's something to brag about. Like, it's like nothing I want to be around.
Now, I've never publicly said this, but I do own a company that manages YouTube channels. It's a side thing I do. I put a lot of work and energy into it. Tyler, you agreed to doing all of this. You were excited to do it. You were hella about it. All you had to do was record the videos, and I would handle everything outside of that. You were hyped for it. I spent thousands of dollars getting the videos edited, spent a lot of time reviewing the videos, working on them, and then you expressed to me one day, you're like, hey, Jesse, I don't want to do the VR channel. With no hesitation, I told Tyler, yeah, that's fine. Like, I understand, I get it, you're going through a lot, let's not do it, you don't want to do it. I'm not going to ever force you. But it's like, did I say, oh, I paid for your rent, helped you build your career, so you have to do this? No. With no hesitation, I said, Tyler, that's fine. You don't have to do this. I will deny you saying I was bragging about this, because that never happened, Tyler. I forgot to include this in the video, so I'm doing a voiceover, but Tyler, your VR channel, it never even had an upload on it. And Tyler, we never even had a contract for this channel, so technically I never even owned 51%, and why would I brag about a channel that has no uploads and no videos?
Dude, just how, like, selfish this dude is, and actually all the guys, this applies to all of them. But we were in a Discord call when it was time for Moochie to join 2Hype. We were talking, and I put it out there. I was like, hey, is anybody else willing to give up a % or two so Mitchell feels more part of the group? Nobody wanted to. He's just on a tiny salary now. Mitchell doesn't own a % of 2Hype. Jesser was not willing to give up 1% for our elementary school friend, one of the dudes that adds the most to the group, pure good person, funny entertainment. These guys in Jesser could not give up 1% for him. We could have all given up a percent, and he could have had 6% in 2Hype. That sounds amazing to me. But no, he's just on a tiny salary because they can. because it's a business. It's not for fun. It's not for fun or friendship. It's a business.
Tyler, you expressed to the group that you were unhappy with your amount of shares. So we had a meeting where we shifted all the shares and you went up more than anyone and I went down. And the reason I went down is because I want you to be comfortable and happy as my friend. If I'm this money hungry person, why would I give up shares to you like that? And Mitchell is my best friend and he's not on a small salary. Mitchell is making very good money. I have talked to Mitchell about owning a percentage of the company in the future and he can back me up on this. This is just, once again, not true. And Tyler, you also never gave a share to Mitchell. And it's like, if you wanted to do that, you could. The shares that you have right now, why don't you just give them all to Mitchell instead of coming at us with lawyers the way you're talking?
And the thing that makes it so annoying is they try to paint it as not a business and it's all about the friendship and all of them doing it for fun. It's like, no. Stop being so, like, stop trying to keep the greediness and selfishness in the dark. Like, that's what's aggravating for the people that have been abused by it. Like, own up to the shit. Like, stop lying. Like, it's so bad. Like the sidemen are a great example. Like, they're a wannabe sidemen, but they're terrible people. Like, what else would you expect from a wannabe sidemen group from LA? Like, it's bound to be fake as hell, just greedy, selfish, self-gain, like all of that. So sidemen are amazing because they're genuine. They do stuff fair. They don't abuse people on the business side. I found out some stuff on the business side that's like, what the hell? I don't care about the money like that, but I want to be treated equal. I want to be treated with respect, and that didn't happen.
Tyler, once again, I wish you expressed to me in person the way you were feeling. I didn't know you felt this way. Also, you say we abused you on the business side. I am confused by this because the only thing that's happened since the start of the company in the business side is we raised your shares. Everyone's gotten paid out on the same day. And yes, Tyler, it was a business too, but you neglected the business side of that. You wouldn't show up to a ton of the meetings. You would play video games during some of them. You didn't really put your 2 cents into the business side, but we didn't force you to. And once again, Tyler, I wish you talked to me about this because you didn't express that you felt uncomfortable and that we were doing these things to you in the business side.
They're not humans. They're not real people anymore. They have ascended past humans and normal people, and they're YouTube gods. They are YouTube gods now, and they just make decisions. Like I heard that Jesser and Chris were talking to TD about kicking me out of the old house in Yorba Linda because I was like hanging out with my ex-girlfriend, or I was just not uploading enough. I never knew that.
Tyler, I never knew this either because this never happened. Why would I want to kick you out of the house when you were one of my best friends? And for the viewers who've been watching since then, the meme at the time was Mopi was never home and I was sad because I couldn't hang out with you because you were my friend. Why would I want to kick my friend out who I just had move in out of the house? This literally makes no sense that I want to kick someone out who is a major part of my channel and my life.
Just like Los and TD didn't know they were kicked, and Mao too, they didn't know they were kicked until it was already a decision. They don't feel the need to like have normal conversations. They just make terrible decisions on their own. Like, and it's just it's nothing to be around unless you're a part of it and wanna just, I don't even know. I'm so glad I'm out of it.
Tyler, that was a group decision. You have a voice in the group. You didn't express that. You were part of that. You were there. One of the reoccurring problems throughout all of this is you feel some type of way, but you don't let anybody know. We can't read your mind, Tyler. The decisions that were made were not my decision. It was all of us together as a group's decision.
And the weird thing is too, they're in denial. Like, they're just so deep in their own lies and just thinking that they're right and everyone else is just the bad people going out to get them. It's like something he said to me was, all change is good change. It's like, so nobody can get lost in the money, in the internet clout? Nobody can lose themselves? That's not a thing? Like,
I don't ever recall saying this. I don't think all change is a good thing. People can change for the worse. People can change for the better. It's just like a dumb statement. I never said that. I feel like you're just grasping for straws and reasons to hate me.
I've seen how this dude talks to people, like his editors and people out in public, like working people, and it makes me sick. It's like, again, just YouTube gods like looking down on people, talking down on people, talking shit about people because apparently they feel like they can. Like, apparently they feel like they're the next American Sidemen and they could do whatever they want. It's like, it's their heads are going to fall off. They're getting so big and they can't Like, I'm trying to make a joke or something. I don't know.
This is extremely upsetting to me because it's an attack on my character and who I am. Tyler, you're saying I talk down on people, to working people, to editors. I try to treat everyone I meet with kindness and respect. When have I talked down to working people and editors? I live with my editor. He moved in with me and we're really good friends. And he can back me up with this on my character.
Another situation that stands out in my mind is we were out eating. It was Jester, a friend of ours, and me, and we were at Cheesecake Factory eating outside. We didn't even have our food yet, and Jester sees this kid like walk by or whatever, and we can kind of see when someone's kind of like looking back and might recognize us, and he's like just begging for the kid to not like walk over and say hi. And it's like, it's a little kid and his dad, like, and Jester's just begging, like, no, please don't come over here, like, leave us alone, no. Like, I swear, and it's like, this kid, it's probably going to make this kid's day, at least day, probably a week, or something like that, just meeting Jester. But the other side of it is this dude is begging for him to not come over and say hi. Chris put this in Jester, like, that he's better and doesn't need to like talk to the people that support him, and it's like it's nasty, and I feel bad as a friend that I couldn't help stop that happening. But he was just living with Chris and Zach for so long that like these terrible attitudes about just life just completely just changed this dude.
Yes, I will admit, there's been times in my life where I don't want to be recognized in public, especially when I'm eating. I was with a friend from out of town I hadn't seen in months, and you saying I'm begging for this kid to not come over is exaggerated. You're making it sound like it's the end of the world if this kid comes over. And the thing is, we were in the outdoor area, and the only way to get to the outdoor area is going through the inside area of Cheesecake. The dad lifted the kid over the fence. This is the part you didn't mention. And I took a picture with the kid, and I had a conversation with the dad. Even though there's been times where I don't want to be recognized, I've never denied a fan a picture, but you try to put me in this light that every time a kid sees me, I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get recognized. I've met so many fans in public, and I'm always appreciative of it, and those people who have met me, they can tell you that. You're saying Chris and Zach influenced me this way, but to be honest, I'm extremely proud of the person I've become, and Zach and Chris helped me become the person I am, and I'm forever grateful to them for that.
And then thinking it's okay to paint me as mentally unstable online, just because I'm saying F the group, L-Hype, and he's trying to, like, it's just so mind-boggling how, like, what happened. And it's really sad, but I'm just getting away from it. I'm not going to rack my brain over trying to change people. They're just so deep in their own ways. It's like, I'm just leaving. I'm not being a part of it.
Once again, Tyler, when I said fighting demons, I did not mean to portray you as mentally unstable. You keep saying I tried to portray you as mentally unstable, so I just wanted to address that again.
And it's like, how did I stay a part of the group for so long with all this stuff happening? It's because I numb myself. You guys don't know this about me, but I need to make things combine my two lives. I've been living this Mopi life, and then I have Tyler, my life, that I've been numbing myself and hurting myself for a while. And yeah, I've been abusing the sauce, the devil's lettuce. I'm not saying the word for demonetization or whatever, but yeah, I've been abusing that, nicotine, and in the past year, alcohol, like, really badly. And it got so bad this year, and I tried to quit so many times. I tried to get help. I put, like, this text, and, like, this is a great example of the kind of support these guys offer as friends. Talking about starting a drinking problem and stopping it, and just trying to get better. And then everybody only has time to just like it. Like, just thumbs up. Not a single word of encouragement or anything. And just goes back to talking about video shit. And it's like, okay, cool, great support. And then we got Jester over here immediately texting me after, once he sees that, for me to be in his sponsored video. Like, I hadn't talked about these issues I've been having. And then he doesn't even acknowledge it. He just asked me to be in his sponsored video. And then he says thank you, then I say one more thing to try to get some acknowledgement, and then he just says proud of me. If I hadn't said that one text before or after thank you, conversation would have ended, and I didn't hear anything in person. Like, no one cared about Tyler. Like, it was only Mopi, if Mopi could show up for videos. And it's like, it's sick. It's not real friends. It's like, I'm a person that was, like, I'm out of there. I'm not being a part of it.
Tyler, once again, I showed earlier, I did try to reach out to you about these things. I didn't live with you, but I definitely did try, and you can't say that I didn't. You showed the text you sent to the group. I mean, this had happened multiple times, and there were many conversations about it. There were group conversations, there were one-on-one conversations, and then you show a text message of me. And yes, Tyler, I did message you after that asking you to be in the sponsored video. It was a big sponsor video for me. I already told them that you and everyone else was gonna be in the video, so I thought I would just ask, and I literally told you in the text message, it's okay if you don't want to. Like, I didn't try to pressure you. You easily could have said no. I wouldn't have felt any type of way. Also, in that clip, you said there's no encouragement, no words of advice, but if you literally scroll up to our last text message, I'm asking about you quitting the vape, but you don't mention that in your video. And also at the end of the text message, I reach out about helping you with the money stuff because you had problems with your taxes and all of that, and I've had good experience with it. I've gone through those things. I asked, do you need help? Because I could help you with that. Offering my help.
Since getting sober, I realized like I'm not being around these people because they contributed to me using. Like they do that stuff themselves and they treat me terrible. So like it's not a good environment for me. I'm not being around that environment. I want to be healthy. I want to stay sober. Like, so I'm staying away from them. I'd hope to never see them again.
Tyler, you talk about how we do those things, and the crazy thing is I never did any of that stuff until I moved into the same house with you and I was around it, but I will never blame you for my actions. And you act like I'm trying to contribute to that when I'm trying to help you and my other friends. For example, when I did the Sober October Challenge, I'm trying to better myself and the people around me.
While I was not entirely open with how bad things were for me, they'll say like they didn't know and I just kept to myself. It's like if I said I was taking breaks and I wouldn't upload and I wouldn't be around for weeks and like months on end, and no one checked on me for like months and months. And like my living situation, my hallway was so bad. Just everybody walks by it and thinks nothing of it, like what's going on in my room and like what I'm doing to myself in my room. It's like it got so bad with my hallway that it could be pitch black dark, and I memorized where to step to not step on shit and get to my room. Like, and I don't want to blame my living situation and how I was treating myself on them, but I'm not having it go out there that they were supportive of me or trying to help me. Like, it was just me.
This is the first time for me I've experienced a friend go through addiction like this, and Tyler, I wish I could have helped more. I tried to help in my own ways that I thought would help. I'm not a trained professional. You're my first friend to go through this. I didn't know really how to react. I wasn't living with you, and I'm sorry, Tyler.
And Jesse wants to go online and say I'm fighting serious demons. Like, no, they're the only demons I'm fighting, those guys, because they're trying to paint me out to be mentally unstable. Because I went to, like, rehab because I was using those substances that are legal in my state. Like, I can smoke and I can drink and I could use nicotine products, and they're trying to paint me out as crazy for that stuff. Like, I don't like it. It's a joke to mental illness, and that they like care, and it's just such a joke, and it makes me sick, honestly.
This clip right here is very vital to everything going on, so I'm gonna break down this clip. Tyler, we are not the demons you are facing. You cannot deny that. You've been going through a really tough time in your life, and I've just tried to be there for you. Once again, you're my first friend to go through an addiction. I tried to help in my ways. I genuinely tried to be there for you, and I'm not a trained professional to handle with the situation, but I did try. Tyler, I've never said you were mentally unstable. I said you were fighting demons. I did not try to manipulate you or other people into thinking that. I simply said it because you were going through an addiction. I didn't want to expose private information out there. It was never my intent to call you mentally unstable. I didn't say you were fighting demons because you went to rehab. I said it because you were battling substance abuse. And yes, Tyler, you said it yourself in this clip, because I was using those substances. That's what I've been saying. And Tyler, you saying that it's legal to do those things is basically saying that it's okay. No, Tyler, you cannot justify drinking, smoking, and vaping because it's legal. Tyler, I want to help you. I don't want you to deny what you're going through. You say we're the only demons you're fighting. You're lacking awareness to the problem. Tyler, it really hurts me to see this part where you say what I've done is a joke to mental illness, when I've simply just tried to help you get through this. And again, I'm not a trained professional. And Tyler, like, I genuinely love you. I have no hidden agenda against you. I've always wanted the best for you. I know in the video you stated you never want to see me again or talk to me. I don't have this same hatred back for you, Tyler. I want the best for you. I've always loved you. I would love to have a private conversation one-on-one to talk through everything because so much of this is such new information to me. Let me know if you want to talk about everything. I'm here for you. I have no ill intentions even after all of this stuff that has come my way. I never wanted to make this video. I didn't want anything to be public. I never wanted this to be an online back and forth. This is a lose-lose situation for both of us, Tyler. I had to respond. I had to make this because I had to defend myself. I'll still always be here for you, Tyler. I love you. And to the fans, I appreciate all the support over the years. I hope you guys can understand my point of view now. I know a lot of the audience who watches this is very young. If you want to learn more information on addiction, I'm going to put some links down below in the description. This has been a really low point for me. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload next, but I will see you guys soon. Peace.
As you all know, Tyler decided to leave 2Hype, and he said a lot of things about the group as well as all of us as individuals. Jesse dropped a video yesterday that covers a lot of the things that Tyler said about the group as a whole. I highly encourage you guys to watch that video before watching mine. It will give a lot of context to everything I'm going to be saying in this video, which will only really be about what Tyler said about me personally. Tyler essentially made two big claims about me in his video. He said I was very disrespectful, treated him like trash, and that I also did not give any effort in his videos. I'm going to cover the point about effort in videos first because I think it's a lot more easily explainable and there's an actual timeline of events that corresponds to it. Tyler brought up this issue of my body language in his videos at one of our weekly Sunday meetings, either in late June or early July. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was toward the end of the meeting. When he first broached me with this issue, I was very defensive about it. I was very taken aback. I was kind of surprised. I was also kind of hurt he brought it in front of the whole group instead of ever coming to me directly. Ultimately, we kind of had a discussion. I apologized. We started talking about a different topic. During the time we were talking about a different topic, I decided to watch back all of Tyler's videos from the recent months, the intros of them, because that's kind of he really highlighted was the intros. And then I asked to speak with Tyler personally. We spoke one-on-one on Discord. I apologized to Tyler for having bad body language in his videos. I agreed with him. Tyler had made it seem like when I agreed with him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just doing that on purpose. When I told Tyler I agreed with him, it was because I had just watched all the videos and I found out that I was being a bad friend, co-pilot, whatever you want to call me, in the videos. However, I will stand by the fact that I did give effort during the videos. I always tried to be on topic, do whatever was needed for the video. But without a doubt, I was totally in the wrong when it came to these intros, and I apologize to Tyler. Another thing Tyler says about this meeting is that I made some excuse about how I was staring at Mitchell, and then that was some explanation for all of that. That is not what happened, Tyler. I don't know if you weren't listening to me when I told you this, but what I told you was, you know, you're right, my body language is bad in all these videos. However, in some of them, it looks like I'm just there being negative, when in reality, I'm trying to do something kind of funny for the intro, such as trying to stare at Mitchell to get his attention. Me and Mitchell had a habit of being mimes in the background of people's videos, particularly Zach's videos back in the late Yorba Linda days. I get that there's a gap of time between then and then, but I'm saying this to show you guys that Mitchell and I actually did used to do stuff like that in the background of people's videos. Tyler is saying I use this as an excuse. What actually happened is, Tyler, I apologize to you for experimenting in the background of your intros. I told you if anything I learned is that I shouldn't use other people's videos to experiment with. You're claiming I use this as an excuse, when in reality it's something that I pointed out and then apologized to you for. So where do we go from there? Obviously Tyler told me this. Tyler, you only had me in 3 videos of yours after this. You didn't want me in your videos for a while after that. I totally get that. There's no fault there. There's nothing wrong with that. But the 3 videos you had me be in, here are the intros of those videos.
What's up, you guys? It's Mopi. Today I'm here with Jesse, Chris, and James. What's up, you guys? It's Mopi, bringing back an old video. Krispy Kreme treasure hunt inside the Bucket Squad house this time. What's up, you guys? It's Mopi. Thank you guys for 900K. Today we're going to be celebrating.
So you can see that I did make an effort to improve my body language in your videos and be more joyful and all that in your videos because you asked me to. When you told me I was doing something wrong, I made the change you requested. One thing Tyler was really upset with me about in this meeting, and Tyler, I only heard this because you told other people this. Again, a lot of these issues, you never spoke with me directly. You never tried to have a conversation with me about issues you had with me, which is unfortunate. I heard during that meeting you were hurt that I said, I'm sorry, but... And yes, I might have said that during the part of our conversation in front of the whole group when I was more defensive. Tyler, the reason I said that was because I said, you are never really prepared to film your videos. Guys, as a lot of you know, most of the time when we film our videos, we'll film literally everyone's videos in one day. So that could range from anywhere from like 4 to 7 videos in a day. Sometimes we shoot from literally 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And when you have a girlfriend, you have a dog, you have other obligations outside of YouTube, that can take a mental toll on you. And often when we did our structure, I won't lie, I usually would tend to go toward the beginning of our filming schedule, because when I'm doing videos like this carnival video, etc., they take a lot of setup and stuff. Tyler tended to shoot toward the end of the videos. He almost always volunteered to go last. And then usually what would happen, Tyler, and you would take a long time to set your videos up, and it kind of drained on me. And during that meeting, Tyler, when I said, I'm sorry, but, the but was like, we can help each other out. I can have better body language in your videos, but you can also make some effort to try to, accommodate our schedules, because me personally, I think not respecting people's time is very disrespectful. So I told you that I found what you were doing was disrespectful to me. You told me essentially that because you were the one going through mental health struggles, that you didn't have to meet me halfway and I only had to meet you. As we can see in those examples, I did go all the way for you, Tyler. The other thing that you asked of me that you didn't bring up in your video was being pushy about time. A lot of the times when we filmed our 2 hype videos, guys, I was the guy who was like, hey guys, why are we all on our phones? Let's film the next video. Yes, I was pushy. I was that guy. You told me not to be. I stopped being that guy every time we did film sessions. I made all the changes you asked of me, Tyler. But you didn't give me a second chance. You had already made up your mind about me. Now, quickly, I want to point out that Tyler did also say he brought this up with me back at the Your Belinda house. That is a half-truth. Tyler, you know that conversation was about Jesse's video. Jesse filmed a King of the Court video with I elected to take pretty much only trick shots for my attempts instead of real attempts. And Jesse wasn't happy about it. We had a heated discussion about it. Ultimately, I was wrong about that. I would agree with Jesse looking back that I wasn't giving the full effort to his video. At the time, my perspective was, yes, I'm taking trick shots. I'm giving full effort on these trick shots. Tyler then quickly kind of made a quick comment like, James, I feel the same way. It was in the heat of the moment with my argument with Jesse. I thought the discussion was solely about basketball videos, and that's it. I thought it had nothing to do with anything else but effort in basketball videos. I didn't think anything of it. Tyler, you never came to me afterward and explained it was more than that. You never came to communicate with me. Now, Tyler, this also applies to the things you were going through. I didn't know all of the things you were going through. I knew you had a struggle with weed. I'm not afraid to say it. My video will not be monetized. But Tyler, not even I knew the extent of how much you were consuming at the time. And another thing you were doing was drinking. I had no idea you were drinking until you brought it up in a meeting and you were saying that's one of the reasons you might want to have to go to rehab. I had zero idea you were drinking because you were doing it at Jesse's house while skating, which is incredibly dangerous. And I would have told you not to do that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm an expert on addiction or anything like that, or that I'm some expert life counselor, so I'm not going to do that. But Tyler, you also cannot give me the cold shoulder for over a year and act like I know everything that's going on with you. So this brings me to our next point about how Tyler said I disrespected him off camera and treated him like trash. Tyler, that's not true. You know that's not true. You literally did not speak to me at all for almost the entire last year. How could I be disrespectful to you if we're not even speaking and I'm not talking to you or about you with anybody? Your 2 examples of how I was disrespectful to you, you yourself called petty. It was me saying I had a better hoodie collection than you. I thought it was a fun gag between the 2 of us. And Tyler, when it comes to the ankle breaker, I'm very sorry if you feel like I tried to discredit you and your accomplishments on the court or your accomplishments anywhere. I never tried to do that. That's just not true. I never tried to discredit what you were doing. And Tyler, I know you wanted to film a video about me debating it after I dropped my video, which, by the way, I will delete out of respect for you because I now know how much this hurt you. But Tyler, the reason I didn't want to make that video with you, I know at the time I told you, are you sure you really want to make that a video that's going to be like a 4-minute video? Yes, I did tell you that. But Tyler, my foot was in so much pain for an entire month after that injury. I know you're feeling like I never actually got hurt. Before that video, my foot was already hurting the entire day, the entire week before we filmed that video. In the clip, the reason I say I feel like I'm about to get crossed is because my foot felt like it was about to fall off. After that video, I went to a foot doctor, and he thought my foot was fractured, and then he told me to get an MRI. Like, I didn't really want to have a debate about, oh, you broke my ankle, when I'm sitting here like, dude, my foot just fucking hurts. I'm not trying to discredit you, Tyler, or anything you did. But you also can't tell me I faked an injury. I find that incredibly insulting. Now, Tyler, those were your 2 examples. You yourself called them petty. I'm struggling to find any other time I might have disrespected you. The only other times, multiple, I could think of is when after your videos, a lot of the times I would give you feedback. I'm a very blunt person, as you know, and I can imagine my criticism, which was meant to be constructive, might have come off as very harsh, and maybe you found it disrespectful. That was never my intent. Never was. Never would be. As I told you, and you agreed with me, I make the fewest jokes about you in the entire group. So I'm really kind of like confused where you feel like I'm constantly disrespecting you because You gave me the cold shoulder for so long. Every time I try to speak to you, it was like a one-word answer. The only exceptions to this were when your cousin and your brother would come over and we watched Ninja Batman. They came over another time. I know we all hung out. They might have even come in the third time. And when they came over, we all had a great time. Would you say I disrespected you at any point during those? I'm at a loss for words. I thought we were all hanging out, having a good time. You know, if you felt some type of vitriolic way about me this whole time and never addressed it, Tyler, you're calling us fake, but what does that make you? You hid your feelings about how you felt about me for so long. Now, one discussion, Tyler, I have zero idea. No one has told me that I think maybe you would be upset about. I'm just going to say it out here because I think it's important for everyone to hear is before we filmed this Lakers Heat finals video for the 2 Hype channel was the one time you finally kind of opened up to me about some of your struggles. I briefly told you about how one thing that helped me with my bout with depression back when I was in college was taking vitamin D pills. Just as a side note, I think everyone should take vitamin D. It helps your immune system. It helps your mental health. And Tyler, I don't know if you felt like I was trying to deduce all of your complicated issues into one simple solution. If that's how you felt, I can imagine that would feel very disrespectful, and I am incredibly sorry if that's how I came off. That was not my intention when I told you that. And I really hope that's not how you interpreted it. I was trying to be helpful, Tyler, and because you had kind of given me the cold shoulder and only given me one-word answers all year, every time me and you were broached about a deep conversation, I felt like we could only have surface-level discussion about it. Tyler, ultimately, I feel like a lot of the issues you have with me and the group as a whole come back to you not communicating to us what was wrong. In your video, you say I wasn't open about enough things, but I was open enough. From your perspective, you might have been, but for me, I was in the dark about so many things going on with you that I don't think you were open enough about a lot of things. I feel like, Tyler, you never gave me a second chance. I'm not sure why. And, you know, Tyler, if you feel like you don't ever want to talk to me again, that's fine. Personally, I feel like we could fix this with a conversation or a phone call, so feel free to call me. If not, that's okay. I just don't want this YouTube drama to continue. I don't think YouTube drama is good and healthy for anyone's mental health. And I just want it to come to an end. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't understand like why this is all happening, to be honest. I still don't quite understand why this is all happening. And I know, Tyler, there's this whole backdrop of these emails we've had back and forth between our two sides and everything. But through all that, I feel like this can still get solved in a cordial manner. I don't see why not. Tyler, again, I apologize for if you feel like I discredited you, if you feel like I was trying to deduce your issues into something or something else, if I was trying to trivialize anything you were doing. That was never my intent. And quite frankly, I don't think I even came off that way. I feel like you kind of just made your mind up about me and rolled with it regardless of my actions or what I said. That's how I'm going to end this video, guys. Again, if you haven't watched Jesse's video, I encourage you to watch it. And I want to get back to posting videos on this channel. I want to get back to posting videos on my main channel. I'm tired of the drama. So I want everyone to have a great new year. Even you, Tyler, have a great new year. Everybody have a great new year. I think, you know, if you're having issues with people, address it to them. If they don't, you know, take your feedback, then it's okay to end a friendship. You know, Tyler, if you feel like the issues between us are, you know, just gone forever, it doesn't have to be vitriolic, this breakup between us. It can be a peaceful breakup. And that's how I feel about it. And that's how, I don't know. I'm rambling. Have a great night, y'all. Peace.
Yo, what's good, everybody? We're here, man. Come in and give you guys my perspective and everything what you guys been spamming me and everything, you know, throughout this whole 2 Hype situation. And yo! Yeah, man, let's go get the ninja here, man. What's good, everybody, man? You got me from my IG at Cash Nasty, man. This is serious, man. You guys know, man, everything that going on social media, I see everybody reposting the videos and just taking clips, you know, like, and just clickbaiting, man. Like, y'all going crazy. But we're not here to talk about that, man. We're here to talk about this whole 2 Hype situation, you know, with Mopi. Now, I'm going to give you guys my perspective. You know, you guys got to remember, I did not live at the 2 Hype house, all right? The most I would ever be there probably 2 consecutive nights, you know what I mean, back to back. And that's me. I'm never really in there, you know what I mean? I'm chatting with them, going to their rooms, and then I'm going to go live, you know what I mean? So I never lived there, you know? So you guys got to look at that perspective, man. You know what I mean? I had roommates before, you know what I mean? And I know, like, it could be little things like the last person who left their dish inside the dishwasher, you know, and the other roommate would get mad. You know, these are things I had been through. I mean, like simple things like, last person to leave their clothes in the wash machine or dryer, you know, and little things like that add up, man. If you went through roommates, man, you know what I'm talking about, man. So that's why when I was offered, you know, from everybody 2 Hype for me to stay in the your Belinda house and the new house, I always like say, I'd rather get my own spot, you know. You know what I mean? Let's be real, man. I like to walk around butt naked, my balls out. Just being true with y'all. Now, if you guys come in for drama, go ahead and leave, man. All right? I've been through too much YouTube drama and beef coming up. You guys can look at my history. You know, I'm just experienced now, man. You know, it's not worth it, bro. All the people that I have ever argued with, whatever it is, like, it's squashed. You know, I mean, OSN, me and him cool. You know, some Illuminati, like, I DM him. You know what I mean? Like life is way too short to just hold people, you know, just hold these grudges with these people, man. You know, especially these people online, you know? So that's just common experience. But this right here is in real life. I didn't think or have any type of idea that it would actually come to where it's at right now. You know what I mean? Like me making it, I'd rather not even make these type of videos, man. You know, but we here, man, you know, I rather kept it offline. You know, I've been trying to like bring people together, you know, some type of ways, I talked to Lowe's, you know, matter of fact, these are people I'm cool with, y'all, right? I'm not beefing with TD, Mopi, Mal, or Lowe's, man. Like these my dudes. I'm going to address a lot of questions, you know, what you guys been asking. I'm gonna try my best, but let's go and get to it. Guys want me to be trill? Well, I'm gonna be trill. You know what I mean? So let's talk about my boy Mopi. You know what I mean? Me and his relationship, man. Relation. Please don't put that in another context. I know how y'all are, bro. Mopi, my dude, bro. You know what I mean? I can call him right now. He'll pick up, you know. Whenever this thing, he was transpiring before what it is, you know, like, you know, me and Mopi, we would talk. I feel like, you know, he would talk to me first, and I didn't know this would transpire this right here, right? But we built this off of friendship at the beginning. And I'm not saying that it's not still friendship, right? I'm not beefing with nobody too hype, you know what I mean? They not holding Kaz, you signed this contract. You can't say anything. You can't do a thing. I'm gonna tell you guys tonight, bro, if I had that, I wouldn't even be here. I don't like restrictions, man. You feel me? That's why I left that assistant manager job, man, that stressful job. I got tired of talking to him and telling him, hey, Cash, you know, you got to stay late. Hell no, I believe I want to leave. I just remember, like, when I first, like, came into Too Hype, you know what I mean? We first built Too Hype, man. And before we get in that right there, I'm going to tell you guys tonight, me and Chris had a conversation before we made Too Hype what it is right now. You know what I mean? I told Chris, this was back then when I was live streaming. Like, just got done live streaming. I was stressed. You guys know I was in a deep depression because it was just, you guys know how the 2K community can be, bro. And I was live streaming every day. It was a lot to manage, man. And I told Chris that I did not want to take on no leadership role, you know what I mean? Just because I've been exhausted, you know? I want to come and bring energy, you know what I mean? Do some fun things. But, you know, like making like big boss decisions and doing all the stuff behind the scenes that you don't get money for, I didn't want that at all. And it was really clear, you know, from the get-go with them. And it worked out. Because look at this right here, y'all, right? Us as people, we automatically gonna just magnify who's in charge. You know what I mean? You know the car that your boss drive. You do. You know your boss' wife name. You know these type. It's little small things. You know what I mean? And this right here just covered me just growing in a company from being an associate to the assistant manager. I know these type of things right will occur. So when you in this big role, bro, you get magnified crazy. And I didn't want that. And I'm not going to sit right here and trash Mopi. The dude's a good dude, man. Like, we have, like, the most open conversations, y'all. Like, we talk about aliens. We'll talk about, like, just you know, them deep talks that you wish you and your homeboy could talk about, man. We would, like, do it just about every night, you know, after we get done with videos, man. He's a genuine good dude, bro. You know, me and Mal, bro, like, you know, we love Mopi, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody, man, you fuck with Mopi, bro, you fucking with us. You know what I mean? Like, straight up, man. You know, like, it is still that type of bond. You feel me? Now, from my perspective of not staying in the house and hearing, you know, Mopi's side, I was shocked. You know, I didn't even think like I said, I didn't even think we was to come to, you know, social media. I was really shocked because it's like, bro, I thought, you know, like, everything was good. Everybody gotta have their disagreements. You know what I mean? It's so many different personalities in the group. We have disagreements, but I didn't know it would come to this right here, man. I could have done more. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody could have done more, man, in a way to where like we could have communicated more, you know, just really hear him out. You know what I mean? Instead of like asking at one time, hey bro, you good? So, and they're like, nah, you look in the eye like, nah, man, are you really good? I would do that. But I feel like, us collectively, we should have done it more. You know what I mean? He has a right, to express how he feel, bro. You know what I mean? He's human. And honestly, I just didn't know how serious it was, until now. All right, so let's keep it trill. Even more trill, all right? How many of you guys right now watching this video here from your phone, probably on lunch break, all right? Probably at your job sneaking. You know what I mean? How many guys doing it? What's your little comments? A lot of you guys probably are, right? Now, if you had an opportunity, to come and do videos, will you drop what you're doing right now? You damn right you would, because I did. So while I'm saying that, Jezer did give Mopi an opportunity. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sugarcoat. He gave him an opportunity, to have a voice. You know what I mean? To do something different in life. You know what I mean? It's probably not what he want to do now, but he did give him that opportunity. You know what I mean? And they were childhood friends. I don't want to go in depth with that, but that is just how I'm coming. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, well, you ready to go work an 8 to 5 where, the man behind your back telling you you're not doing your job right. You got these things going on at home, bro. You got family issues, all these things right here. Bills need to be paid. You barely making, ends meet for the bill payments, bro. You know what I mean? Or will you rather entertain millions? Let's not forget that, y'all. You know what I mean? That's hella valuable, man. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people in the struggle where I come from, bro, will stop, drop every single thing to have the opportunity. All right, so let's talk about Jezer Laser, what y'all want to call him. All right, man. This guy here is a hard-working person, man. You know what I mean? For how hard he worked, bro, you'll think this dude right here came out the struggle. You feel me, bro? And I watched Jezer, grow as an individual. You know what I mean? Am I here to have his back? I'm just being straight up with y'all. Take it how you want. You know what I mean? He never did me wrong in no type of way. I didn't stay in the house. But from my perspective, bro, Jezer, he kept growing as an individual. Jezer got a whole team, bro. You know what I mean? He got a whole team behind him, editors and all these things right here, production and all this right here, bro. He giving them dudes a job. You know what I mean? He's creating jobs for the people, and that is a good thing. You know what I mean? I got editors too, but that also come with a lot of responsibilities, y'all. You know what I mean? He got this big house, man. You know what I mean? More bills need to be paid, bro. What I'm trying to say is, man, the little small things, sometimes we tend to forget. And let me break it down here to y'all, bro. All right? When I was assistant manager at Walmart, bro, I wanted to do anything as possible to get out. All right? I stopped talking to my family and my friends, best friends, for 2 years. 2 years. Y'all remember when I was live streaming every single day and all this right here, bro? And while working a job, I was there for 2 years. I didn't have no really friends, bro. I didn't even see Malcolm up until I got the Challenger. That's when I pulled back at his crib. You feel me? I remember times like my mom would blow my phone up like several days at a time because like I would not like reciprocate it. Like it was like I had tunnel vision. It was like I felt like I had to prioritize like where I'm at, like where I'm living at in life. I wanted better for myself. So it's like I put a lot of people on the back burner, bro, and I'm a man. You know what I mean? I'm a human. I make mistakes. You know what I mean? And, luckily, I'm fixing that bond now. Well, it's fixed, Hopefully, Mom, I love you. When you driven so much, man, the little small things you sacrifice for. You know what I mean? And that's going to come with relations. You know what I mean? You're going to grow together or you're going to grow away from each other, man. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is because like, I'm just trying to give a big relief on him because, like, I see he get a lot of heat. He just got a lot of responsibility. A lot of bills need to be paid, man. You know what I mean? And I understand that because, when you're trying to you driven, you like tunnel vision. You know what I mean? Like, and we're coming with that, man, when you like so driven, a lot of your relations with people and friends, they be put on the back burner, temporarily because like, you got to sacrifice that, man. It's sad to say that, but that's just how it is, bro. A lot of people don't want to make them sacrifices. A lot of people A lot of people want to sleep more. A lot of people want to have a comfortable lifestyle laying on a comforter, you can say. From my perspective, the mistake that Jersey done, you know, with this whole drama going on, was the fact, you know, he reached out to his family. That wasn't a mistake, but putting it in a video, you know what I mean? It just didn't seem genuine, you know what I mean? Even though he might have had the good intentions, the way it looked bad, you know what I mean? And I told him about it, you know what I mean? I didn't like the fact he done that. I do remember, y'all, is that Mopi, you know, he expressed to us that he mentally wasn't there for videos, you know what I mean? And I remember when we had a talk outside, you know, Mopi was saying that he was going to go get help or whatnot, you know? Jersey was crying, you know what I mean? I can never forget how the face, you know, the face Jersey had, like he was disappointing himself because he felt like that he could have did more for Mopi, you know what I mean? That's the energy I had felt from him, man, you know? But let's talk about Christopher London, a.k.a. LSK, man. Now, this guy here, he the one who taking a lot of responsibilities behind the scenes, all right? These are things that you do not get paid for, man. These are things that, like, the little tedious things that I just could not handle, did not want to do. You know what I mean? Like just holding people accountable for, you know, coming to the film, you know, talking to collabs, collaborate, little small things like that, man. You know, the administrative work. So Chris, being true with y'all, this is the person I bump heads the most with. Why? It's just his delivery. You know what I mean? His delivery is so off a lot of times. It's just like I have to like check him, like, hey, bro, like, sometimes we be in calls, you know what I mean? And he'll just talk over, you know, he feel like that his opinion is so much more important than the next person, you know? And I'd be like, hey, man, I'm talking. You know what I mean? It'd be awkward a bit, but, you know, he would check himself, you know what I mean? He wouldn't hold that against me. So I'm telling you this right here. You know, a lot of people looking at the text message, I think it was a Mopi video, looked like he was being, you know, like a dictatorship. You know what I mean? He was saying, you know, I would suggest you guys to unfollow these dudes right here. I don't mess with whatever it is. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Because, like, bro, you ain't about to boss me around. You know what I mean? Did they feel uncomfortable about it? Chris, especially? Yes. But when I got around him, did he make me feel some type of way about it? Anything like this? No. All right? It's just that, you know, he's a very emotional person, I guess. You know what I mean? And a lot of his delivery just be wrong. And one thing I do like about Chris is that, you know, when you tell him something, he do correct it. You know what I mean? He tried best to correct it. He'll try to do the exact same thing over and over. You guys want to ask, do I feel like Chris got good intentions? My answer would be yes. I feel like Chris got really legitimate good intentions for people. You know what I mean? Like, he do try to put on much people as he can. Like, if he's eating, he do try to get the bag too, you know, with sponsorships and things like that. Not a selfish individual to where he feel like he just eating and everybody else not gonna eat. You know, he try to let everybody eat, but at the exact same time, you know, when you just worry about the bag too much, you know what I mean? You don't really looking at people, you know, feelings too much. You know what I mean? You think the bag will cover feelings. I myself had them, you know, type of issues myself, you know? Shit, sometimes my sister would be like, hey, boo, can we talk or whatever it is? And, you know, I would miss the phone call because I'm either doing something or whatever, do something busy or videos. You know, I feel bad. And next day I'll send her some money, you know, then talk, you know. It's something I need to work on too. So I'm not really going to address Zach and Jadel's situation. I feel like they're going to make their own video to talk about it. You know, I think they got some more personal things going on, you know, behind this. So, yeah, I'm going to let them boys handle it. And no, bro, I ain't got no type of steam with Zach or Jadel. Like, I can have conversation with these dudes right here, bro. They don't force me to do something that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? If I feel uncomfortable or I feel like I don't want to do a video, man, they always been over for me. You know what I mean? Like, I tell you this right here, man, a lot of these 2 Hype videos, man, like, they do respect the fact that, you know, I got to come back to Louisiana, my family, and I'd be gone for like a month or 2, you know what I mean? And that would be in the way of them doing their videos, you know, but they always do bend over for me. So, you know, I just want to say that you can boys watch. I do appreciate that, man. And, yeah. So I see a lot of you guys talking about the blacklist words and everything that was on the channel. I didn't know. But I can explain it because I really do understand it. And I'm going to break it down to y'all, all right? Let's say if you break up with your girlfriend, all right? Do you want to continuously walk around and see her picture on the counter? Do you? No, you don't, all right? It make you sick to your stomach, right? So what I'm saying is, y'all, no one want to just look at negativity, bro. Like, no one want to wake up and look at, you guys comparing me to other people. I don't like seeing that, bro. You know what I mean? That would, like, stop my motivation, my grind. You know what I mean? You don't think sometimes, LeBron get tired of seeing the Michael Jordan comparison? He's tired of it. Everybody's tired of it, man. So with Mopi being blacklisted, it was more about, like, this is when Mopi went off to go get help. You know what I mean? And I remember the conversation that we had in the group text message. It was like, can you guys stop spamming him? You know what I mean? While he's going to seek help, as in a way, just trying to, like relieve a lot of pressure, and expectations on Mopi. It really, really was, from my point of view, was caring about Mopi, mentally. His mentality, his mindset, man. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to continue to see them type of things, bro. Especially when you're going through stuff, bro. And I think I see a lot of people talking about, oh, y'all blacklist, amp, sidemen, and all type of things right here. Because y'all compare us to them all the time, bro. You know what I mean? And no one want to sit here and just look at that every single. I don't. And I tell you right here, I'm not going to see that stuff every day. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's a legitimate reason why them type of words right there were blacklisted. Whoever did it, hey man, thank you. Cause I ain't want to look at it myself. So where I feel like that should happen, y'all, is just that everybody, us in our group, we need to take accountability for our mistakes and continue to strive to get better, just as individuals, as people, as humans. You know what I mean? Because we're not perfect, man. We're going to make mistakes. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you're going to judge, you should judge a person on how they correct their mistakes, not the mistakes they're doing. You feel me, man? And a lot of you guys, y'all see us on camera, man. We happy, we positive. But you guys got to remember, man, when that camera goes off, we got real life things going on with us, man. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own struggles, man. And I can't recall some days I go to 2A house, man. I didn't even want to film sometimes, you know what I mean? But I did it for the group, and Mopi, or sometimes Zach would put me to the side and be like, hey man, everything y'all good? You know what I mean? They would like kind of understand, you know what I mean? So to reiterate all this right here going on, y'all, Mopi, still my boy, man. Mal, still my boy, man. TD, still my boy. Hey, bro, my bad for not calling the last couple of days, man. I just feel like there's so much stuff going on. Low, still my boy. Talked to Low the other day, man. These right here still my boys, man. And I don't do the beef and stuff, man. You know what I mean? I feel like they're childish. I don't even feel like that we should even came to where we at right now, doing the video. All right, so let me talk a little bit about, 100 Thieves, man. All right, I see you guys leaving comments, things like this right here, man. You guys should not be leaving no type of negativity. This right here, not my contract. This is just me personally telling you guys right here, all right? So I remember before, we got signed and everything like that, we was having like issues within the group because like we all was having too many responsibilities. You know what I mean? We was growing so fast, still is growing fast. You know what I mean? But I got 2 different channels, y'all. You know what I mean? I live in Louisiana and I live in California. You know what I mean? I got family out here, bro. You know what I mean? So it was taking on so much, man. I myself said, bro, something need to change. We need something, bro, because with the way this right here going, man, I'm going to be burnt out and I'm going to be miserable. You know what I mean? And everybody felt that way. So 100 Thieves came in and they relieved a lot from us, y'all. I mean, just look at our last videos, man. Look at the production, man. It's just that we got so much going on, y'all. You could be overwhelmed. You know what I mean? So I personally just want to thank 100 Thieves for picking us up again, man. I greatly appreciate it. Real talk, man. Because, yeah, man, So this situation right here, man, we're going to continue to grow, man. We're going to look at all our faults, man. I'm going to make sure that everybody look at their faults. Trust me. From here and out, you know what I mean? I'm going to try my best. So in Mopi video, man, he brought some real talk, man. He was saying, when you have all this fame, you know what I mean, and money coming, bro, you tend to, kind of lose your ground, you know what I mean? Because you like, everything just coming at you so fast. I myself had to check myself a couple times, you know what I mean? Like, calm down with your ego, Cash, you know what I mean? Don't get lost within the sauce, you know what I mean? So, I can honestly say that us as individuals, we are growing, you know what I mean? But we do need to stay grounded, and can just continue to, have ourselves take responsibility for our faults. So just ending it off, man, I just want to thank all you guys, man, for a little support, man, and, for the people who, not jumping the ship or whatnot, leaving too hype, unsubscribing. I was right here, man. I appreciate guys who want to hear everybody's perspective. You know what I mean? There's always three sides to the story. It's that person's perspective, my perspective, and the truth. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of maturity to sit back and endure everything. Just get it all together and just get your truth from it. Thank you guys so much, man, for watching this long video. Nats Crew, we out this thing. Give me
Just want to start off this video by saying I apologize for taking this long. If there's anything I've learned from my past video, which was completely irresponsible of me, it's to not react right away. A lot of these things and accusations that you're hearing about are getting mixed up with the Tyler situation, when in fact a lot of my mistakes happened 2 to 3 years ago. Towards the end of this video, I will briefly mention the Tyler situation as much as I feel comfortable sharing in respects to our privacy, as it is very personal and there's a lot of things and details that you guys aren't aware of and probably will never be aware of. Also want to mention there will be cuts throughout this video to make sure it's short, concise, and to the point, and to take out any dead space, likes, etc. And to start things off, my last video. So a little while ago, when this whole drama sparked, I was getting really emotionally involved, too emotionally involved. I mean, my tweets, everything regarding the situation, it was irresponsible of me, it was immature. I have the responsibility to hold myself accountable, which I should have done from the get-go and not posted that video. I want to apologize to the community, to Too Hype. It sparked this whole thing. This whole drama, one way or the other, is my fault. I need to stop. I need to do better. I made the choice to delete it, knowing that I would look bad, the group would look bad. That video just shouldn't have been uploaded. I said in that video that everyone left the group when in fact they were kicked. And that was one of the main reasons I deleted the video. That's just me making the same mistakes, being reactive, emotional, off impulse, not thinking things through, just going on the internet, crying, playing the victim card, when I should just be owning up and taking responsibility. All of this is petty. I need to do better, and I need to lead by example. I keep blaming other people and finding excuses. I love holding others accountable, but I can't even hold myself accountable. And it's time I change. You're probably looking at this situation and seeing all of these videos and really don't like me. And to be honest, man, after watching all those videos, I wouldn't like me either. But unless you were there in the moment, you really just don't know. And like Cash said, you hear one's perspective, the other perspective, and then there's the truth. I'm just going to talk about what I think matters in this whole situation, as a lot of it has been said through the other members, so you guys can go get a little more context there. Now, I made quite a few mistakes a couple years back, and one of those mistakes was the Too Hype audition, which is an idea that I presented to the guys in the old Too Hype house to, announce a new member. It wasn't until a month later that I made the choice to just not do it anymore, as I did start to feel that expanding Too Hype wasn't in our interest after talking with all the guys. And that's when, the lack of communication started to come about. And that is my fault. I should have communicated with TD and Walker a lot better throughout this idea. And I did feel bad. I did not think through this idea. And I want to just take time to apologize again to the fans who auditioned. I really appreciate the time that you took out, and I'm really sorry for presenting this opportunity and getting your hopes up. Again, that's my fault. I really do apologize. And now, on to the phone call. I don't know who or what, how it was recorded. Doesn't matter. Just a fun fact, recording a private conversation is actually illegal in the state of California, as it is a two-party state. Therefore, everybody in the call or a private conversation you may have with somebody, they must all consent to be recorded. And I, for one, have never consented in any of these leaked phone calls. I think just in general, it was a poor choice of handling this situation of moving forward without TD, Los, and Mal. It was a group decision. I will admit we should have handled that situation a lot better, where we all just come together, hash out our differences, any personal differences that we had, discuss why we made the move. Now, I don't want to get into too many personal details about this phone call. It was straight to the point. Everyone talked, including me, Zach, Cash, James, Jesse, and Tyler. Now, the reason why I didn't react to this leak is because I meant what I said, but what I meant didn't follow up with everybody else based off the reaction that I'm seeing. What we meant was share your side, share your story, speak up. so we don't have to speak for you. That's all that was. But to be honest, I could see why it put you guys in a tough position, given that it was our choice and our decision to move forward without you guys, and that we did kick you, and we should have took the responsibility of making it more known that we kicked you guys. And no matter how negative it would have impacted us, you know, TD, I wish you had come to me a lot more after the fact, especially given that our situation was a lot more personal. I sent you a whole novel, man, of apologizing and trying to explain how I felt, but it would have just been better if we just met up, talked it out. I understand that we have our differences and our own beliefs, but man, I really think this all could have been resolved if we just took the time man to man and just expressed ourselves then and in the moment. Now, I did spark a lot of this, and I want to apologize to Walker for referring to him as TD's friend. How we're using our platforms to tear each other down just isn't the move, and I'm sorry for starting that. TD and Walker, they have a good dynamic. They make great videos, so you guys should just go check it out for yourselves. This whole drama stuff that we're doing isn't necessary. If any of you guys, we have any more issues, we all agree to just talk this out. I'm going to leave his link down below. I'm also going to leave Walker's. Now, Los and I, we have a pretty long history. I messed that up. I broke our trust due to the actions and the words that I said about him behind his back. There's no excuse for what I said about him. It was completely wrong. I talked to him. I tried to apologize. You know, I thought we made amends given, you know, this past year. And I'm sorry for getting emotional and bringing all this back up. I can watch one video, dude, and I forget about all this. We shared a moment, dude. I'm never going to forget. And regarding the public statement of kicking Los out of 2Hype, we should have handled that a lot better. I should have handled that a lot better. And the way I told people to not fuck with Los, I understand that then, and I've grown from that, moved on in that kind of toxic behavior. I'm sorry for any friendships that I got in between of because of that, and I just want to move on. I'm not expecting anything from you. I'm telling you and the fans that I'm moving forward, and I wish nothing but the best to Los. I've always believed in him and his career and what he's doing, and there's a reason he's a top streamer, as I'm gonna now move on and try to be the greatest I can be. Not just online, but just a person. Now, this Tyler situation, he's gonna say what he wants about me. I know the truth. Him and I spent the most time together in the group, especially after Jesse bought his house. There's just a lot of personal details. Tyler does matter to me. He still does, even through all this bullshit. There's just a lot of personal details and things that I just don't want to go into other than just, Tyler, I miss you, bro. And to set the record straight, we don't want to sue you, bro. We're just trying to settle this offline. I have no clue what your plan is. I have no clue what your motive is. None of us do, including the people that you're cool with. Everything that you've expressed to us that you wanted, we gave to you. We just got to grow up. At the end of the day, I'm grateful for what we experienced. It is what it is. I have to live with it. It was from my own choices, my own mistakes, and I'm only responsible for my own actions. This whole drama has just been a learning experience for myself and the group. And to talk a little bit about the business side of things, we went into this and started the group channel not really knowing how it was going to turn out, you know, how it was going to be, how we should do. We just only had our own personal experiences to go off of, and just looking up to our inspirations. Our biggest inspiration, we've made that so clear, is FaZe, Sidemen, you know, 100 Thieves. And about 100 Thieves, guys, you may think that it has to do with the bag. The main thing and the main reason why we went with 100 Thieves were the resources. So we wouldn't stress over things that cause these personal issues. When you get to a certain stage and a certain level, whether that may be on YouTube or whatever it is, you just have to take on more responsibilities. And when you have more resources, you have less responsibilities because those resources help you manage those responsibilities. It helps us not have so much tension, you know, with us having to do everything. And it's like we have lives and responsibilities of our own, to which this deal has helped us just in ways that I can't even explain, that you guys watching probably will never understand or not understand yet. We worked hard for this. I know things in the past didn't pan out the way we expected, but we just have to accept it and move on. Been lying to myself about a lot of my insecurities, and I will be taking a step back from social media. I'll still be creating content like I love to do. 2Hype guys, we're not going anywhere. If anything, this has made us a lot stronger throughout these horrible dramatic situations that are now coming to light, we've learned to communicate better. We've learned a lot about each other. We've learned a lot about the business. We're not perfect. We're going to continue to fail, but it's how we respond to that failure. And I think the way we responded to failure of our friendships should have been handled better. And now you guys can see it as a young, impressionable audience, what to do and what not to do. I hope you guys can take lessons from this whole situation when it has to do with friendships, you know, maybe in the workplace. You might not like a coworker, but sometimes it's just best to be positive. And if you see a negative situation, just walk away. A lot of these things that I'm being claimed of doing and this and that, I just don't wish to entertain it anymore. I know it's entertainment for some people. I've been there. I've talked my shit in the past. If you guys have seen my content throughout the years, I was very toxic in my past. I just don't like that toxic side, and I want to get away from it, which is why I'm transcending into new content. I'm going to try something new this year. Still going to be posting group content, don't get me wrong. Basically been doing what we've been doing, but right now I need to focus more on myself so I can come back stronger and better. As negative as this situation is for me, I'm very thankful for it. It's taught me a lot. I hope you guys can move forward. At the end of the day, it's your choice not to like me, and it's your choice to continue to watch my content. Whatever your choice is, I respect it, and I wish you the best. Thank you guys. Happy New Year. See you guys again soon. Peace.
First thing I want to say, I never planned on making this video. I never wanted to make this video. You guys have never seen a drama video on my channel before. Even as the Mopi situation was unfolding, I didn't, see that as an opportunity to, come in and take advantage of it. It wasn't until Jidal put out tweets just saying, completely false information. And then also Chris has now deleted, all right? That video isn't even up anymore. Chris has now deleted 43-minute video just talking reckless. I will say this video will be pretty politically correct. The reason for that is I have been working with a legal team on this. They're trying to play dirty. They've sent out cease and desist to try and keep people quiet. I'm not worried about that stuff. I have a very strong legal team that's been working with me on this. They've been kind of overseeing everything. That is what they asked of me to, keep this clean. I'm not going to go, take a deep dive into the group chat and, show like gossip and try and take text and manipulate them and try and, twist the story. I'm not going to do any of that. But what I will be doing is clearing my name. And then I'm also going to finally tell my side of what happened. These people have lied to my face. They've said things behind my back. They've stolen from me. On December 14th and December 15th, Jidal put out the following tweets. This is something that the group has kind of always put out as a narrative. It's always painted me and Los as like these lazy people that weren't helping the group in any way. I'm going to put out an entire timeline later in the video. That way everything adds up for you guys. But my first response to Jidal's tweets, I moved back to California to be close to you guys and so I could be in the group and so we could do videos together. These people told me that the plan was they were going to get like this huge house in Calabasas and that I would have a spot back in the house. That's my first response to Jidal's tweets. The second thing is I'm going to put up on screen just a fraction of the amount of times I reached out in the group chat asking about recording. Now, all the texts you guys are seeing on screen right now, these are texts that are just from like the final 5 weeks I was in the group. It's not even counting, the entire months before that. And also the texts you guys are seeing, some of them I'm not even recording my own video. I'm just showing up to be in their videos. I know Chris brought it up in his video. There was a time where I was like, yo, I apologize. I've been MIA for like 2 months. That was an exaggeration. I was gone for like 15 days. So I went back home. I was helping my mom with some stuff. I went on a vacation for the first time in my life. Growing up, I couldn't afford to go on vacation. And then all the other times I went on trips, it was always like YouTube or business related. I shouldn't even have to be defending myself in this situation because there's so many other times where, group members, they had stuff going on or they were going on trips and they were gone for like a week or two. Like I said, I know they're probably going to take that, try and manipulate it. So I just want to be, straight up about that. And once again, I immediately followed up that message by saying, hey, going forward, whenever you guys need me, like I'm going to be there. I'm good to go. I have a question for you guys. Did you guys ever see any of them record a video at my place? It never happened. They never once even came to my place. That's really all I got to say about Jidal's tweets. This next part, we're going to talk about Chris's now deleted video.
The narrative that TD was kicked because he was taking care of his mom, and like a lot of outside sources are trying to spread that narrative, whether you heard it from people or not. And TD, you're literally telling people that that's not true. You know that's not the case, and I'm here to clear that up.
I could have spent close to 2 hours just talking about all the lies and the amount of times LSK contradicts himself in his own video, but I'm not here to do that, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna say, that's a complete lie. I have never gone anywhere. I've never said this to anybody, that I got kicked out of the group for taking care of my mom. Since there was a lot of questions on why I wasn't in the group, there was, you know, fans that came up with this narrative that that's why I got kicked out. Chris, in your own video, you put a screenshot where I tell you to not let fans stir up the drama. There's always false narratives when it came to this situation. That's just how the internet works. There's plenty about me, there's plenty about them, but for him to say that I came out and said that, that's a straight lie. That's just completely untrue.
Don't understand is like you're claiming that you heard that I talk shit behind your back.
Chris, did you forget that you text me apologizing for talking behind my back? I'm gonna read part of this long text that Chris sent me. So he said, there are things said about one another and negative things spread that weren't true, but I know and will admit I have said stuff behind your back in spite of built up emotions that I don't feel to discuss, is that's the old me and I've moved forward from those feelings a long time ago, but I apologize. Let me just say this. These people have snaked a lot of others over the years. And somebody came to me, another person that they snaked. This was somebody that Zach was extremely close with, and, you know, they had access to his iMessage. Since you snaked this person, once they saw I got kicked out of the group and Los got kicked out of the group, they sent me dozens of screenshots of you and Zach constantly talking behind our back. I could be here all day just reading all these messages that got sent to me, but here's just a few of them. And like I said, these are between Chris and Zach. Zach texts Chris saying, dude, shit's crazy, and I know he be nasty hoes too. Chris responds with, yeah, take him whatever he can. Laugh my ass off. Zach then followed it up with, exactly. Sheesh. Here's another one. Zach texts Chris saying, did you get a long ass text from Lewis? Chris says, laugh my ass off. Yep, gotta love it. Best apology yet, haha. Keep this in mind that Chris, like several times, has said that, you know, Los never owns up, never sends apologies, you know, never admits for his wrongdoings, never is, you know, holds himself accountable for his actions. Los sends them an apology, and this is what they're saying behind his back. And keep in mind, me and Los were still into hype when all this was going on. Zach says, laugh my ass off, bro. I don't even know what to say to him at this point. I think he's only saying this because he saw the stuff we've been putting on Twitter. Well, that's interesting because Chris also complained about us putting out subliminal messages. You kind of are admitting right there that that's what you did to Los, and that's why he sent you an apology. Chris says, I haven't responded yet, but yeah, most likely laugh my ass off. And Zach says, I haven't either. I've already said all I can say like 20 times at this point, LOL. And Chris said, yep, I think I'm gonna just say that, haha. Some of these are pretty personal, and I think you guys get the point. So I'm not gonna go over any more of them, at least in this video right here, but if I need to in the future, I do have more of them. I really don't want it to go there. I have every screenshot, every text from like 2016, 2017.
You were talking with the landlord's daughter in the old 2 Hype house, and that caused so much tension, dude. And you never like apologize for that when I'm expressing to you how I feel. Like, dude, like, I don't mess with you, bro, because how you treated me, how you made my girlfriend uncomfortable, how you had me deal with your shit with the landlord, and then I'm like on everybody's ass because this dude's just angry at me and for whatever reason.
I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone in this next one. So the things that Chris is saying about I got in bed in my boxers with Bree, and then also I was getting with the landlord's daughter that created all this awkward tension. Just completely not true at all. Here's what's really interesting about this, right? So Chris is saying these things happened at the Yorba Linda house. We lived in the Yorba Linda, well, I lived in the Yorba Linda house from July of 2017 until November of 2017. And then that's when I moved out to help take care of my mom. Apparently these things happened sometime in that time frame, right? In the end of 2017. I didn't get kicked out of 2 Hype until May of 2019. You're telling me that Chris held this in for like 15, 16 months, and then that's why I got kicked out of the group? That doesn't even add up. The Bree situation, just completely fabricated. Like, when Bree moved into the house, she became one of the boys. And there was a lot of times where, you know, me and Bree would, you know, troll Chris, and we would make jokes. There's text that I could put up on screen that I know the internet would have a field day with. But the thing is, like, those were jokes. And I'm not going to be like Chris and put text up on screen and try and manipulate them. I'm also not going to take private information from your relationship or take text, you know, that other members in the group were saying about your relationship and put those out there for the internet. Apparently I made Chris and his girl uncomfortable, but I couldn't have made them too uncomfortable because, like, me and Bree were always cool when I lived in the house. I would take pictures of her for her Instagram. Chris had no problem with me doing that. There was a time Bree was walking around the house. She didn't know I was home. And I saw a little too much to try and manipulate the situation and say that I made you guys uncomfortable. Just completely untrue. And Chris, the first time you told me about this situation, I had no idea what you're talking about. But then you follow up and lie and say I never apologized for anything. I said right then that I apologized if I ever had taken things too far. Or that if me and Bree had ever taken things too far. Because I know we did troll you from time to time. The second situation that he mentions about me and the landlord's daughter, I don't know what he's grasping at here or what he's, again, trying to manipulate. So he moved into this house. I had a good relationship with the landlords. They had 2 daughters. The whole family, successful, smart. He's trying to twist and manipulate this story. I never even held hands with this girl. So as far as anything to that extent, just completely untrue. And then the second thing is that, you know, like something happened that made her parents, you know, upset and created this awkward tension for everyone else in the house. The reason why they were upset with you is because you pretty much destroyed their house between an infestation of flies because the house was so dirty from, you know, pee and poop not getting cleaned up. And then also there's black mold in the house. And then you guys weren't keeping up with things that needed to be paid for. That's another thing I'm going to talk about is when we first lived in that house, I was in charge of everything. But it got to the point where even when I moved out and other people were in charge of it, the landlords were hitting me up 8 months later after I left, asking me if bills could get paid for.
Everybody that is no longer a part of Too Hype, they left. They left. So say it with your chest. That you left, so stop talking about it.
I'm really not sure what Chris was trying to say right here. I guess he's implying that me and Los left the group, but that's just completely not true. Like, we got kicked from the group, and I'm going to play audio for you guys that ended up getting leaked, and I really wish the entire conversation was out there because it would have looked a whole lot worse. But we're going to play what we got.
Tight schedule that we're going to start doing now that we've moved out, we're getting settled in, like, things are going to move really quick and like at a large scale, and like we didn't want to just put it like the group channel out and stuff and like not have you like aware, and then also like given that we see like we're kind of like foreshadowing like looking forward to where this movement's going to go, and like we didn't see like you being like a part of it. We also just wanted to like come to you, like, we'd hope that you could build like your own narrative as to how like we're not like together. And then, like, you know, we wanted you to, like, let us know, like, how you wanted to go about that. Like, are you, like, do you plan on, because we didn't want to, like, publicly say this and everything. I think, like we told Lobos, like, you guys can, like, build your narrative, you know, like.
Yeah, we want to, like, we want it to be, like, you are, like, stepping away from Too Hype and going your own way because you want to focus on yourself and, like, you feel like it would be easier to do it. You know, that way. We also don't want to just come out and say, like, yeah, we kicked TD out and, like, have, like, some sort of negative connotation towards you. Or have the fans have some negative connotation towards you because we don't want to affect you on that. And, like Cash was saying, like, it's not like, and Chris was saying, it's not like we still can't make videos. Like, it's not like you can't come over or, like, can't play games together. You can't text us whenever you need something. Like, we're still boys.
Yeah.
This was a call in Discord. And out of the blue, they just call me and they're like, hey, TD, you know, we're starting a group channel. We want to become like the next phase. We want to be like the Sidemen. And yeah, we don't see you being in the group anymore. So can you lie and say like you're taking a step back from the group? I responded to him and I'm like, look, I won't create drama and I won't say anything bad about you guys, but I'm not going to lie and say that I'm taking a step back to work on myself, because that's not what's happening. It's funny because Jidel also put out a tweet saying that Los's call was like, you know, more business and that mine wasn't. Like, this personal beef has always been brewing. You guys heard the call. There's nothing mentioned of like this personal stuff going on. They literally say like, yo, we can still be boys. Like, it seems like the narrative with these guys is constantly changing, whether they kicked me out for business or personal reasons. So I say we go ahead. Let's ask somebody that was on the other side when I got kicked out.
You were on the other side of me, you know, getting kicked out. So in your opinion, was this like business or was this personal?
It was for sure business, but they tried to tie in like whatever little personal stuff they could to try to make it seem less about the business. But it was going from 9 people to 6 and cutting out shares for everyone in the company.
Do you remember like being told of any of these personal things that are being brought up now?
I remember being told about the situation with the landlord's daughter, but as far as I'm concerned, that was completely manipulated to make it seem way worse than it was. Yeah, that's where they're just trying to grasp at whatever they can to make it seem like it wasn't about the business.
Right.
Like, that's an issue when it comes time to kicking you out. Like, I fully defend you too, and the shit like Chris talking about, like, you and your boxers with Breeze, like, it shows how, like, childish and how many straws they're grasping at to try to find shit to paint you guys as the bad guys in the picture, but it's literally ridiculous. You know?
Right. And I know they're doing a lot of things to you as well. So I fully got your back. I fully support everything you got to say. And yeah, I'll let you speak for you, but I fully got your back.
Thank you, dude. And I wanted a part of your video too that, yeah, I got your back with everything you're saying. And they have been very, very manipulative. Very manipulative.
Yep.
And not trustworthy people.
We'll talk soon though, all right?
Yep. Talk to you later, dude.
All right, see you, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Peace.
That is something I want to follow up that Mopi said. So once things, you know, for 2Hype became a corporation, they needed to split up the shares. And pretty much what that is you got to split up the revenue between the group members. So if they did that while everyone was still in the group, it would have been split amongst 9 people. Now that's a lot of pieces of the pie. But then if you kick me and you kick Los, that's a bit more pie for everybody else, isn't it? I feel like I've said everything I need to say about Jidel's tweets and Chris's video. So I want to go over, I guess, just kind of the timeline of everything that happened with me, and why I'm not cool with these guys anymore. It was early 2017 when I first flew out to visit the then 2K house. It was Jesser, Chris, and Zach. And then they had one open bedroom. They actually invited me to be a part of the group, you know, live in the house with them. So I became the 4th member of the 2K house. I know there's a lot of people that say like, you know, oh, they made you. Why are you biting the hand that fed you? I was averaging over 250,000 views per video when I joined the group. And it was an addition that kind of made sense for kind of everybody involved. Because number one, I was mainly a Madden and like football channel. So that brought a lot of people that hadn't seen, you know, Chris, Zach, and Jesse's channels before. But then the same thing is true for me, you know, because they were mostly 2K. And I had done 2K videos before, and I've actually had done IRL videos, IRL basketball videos up to that point. They had a lot stronger of a basketball fan base. So it was kind of a perfect match where, you know, our community is kind of like intertwined and we all just kind of grew together. The reason why I want to bring up this next part is because Chris has said, you know, he's kind of been in charge of everything and he always has to take responsibility. And that me and Los, you know, like I said, the narrative that we were never pulling our own weight. When the lease was coming up at the 2K house, we had this plan that we wanted to expand. We wanted a house that had a basketball court in the backyard. We wanted to add Los. that would eventually, go on to be Mopi as well. I wouldn't normally bring stuff like this up because it was just me, being part of the group. But like I said, I'm bringing it up to, get rid of that false narrative that I wasn't pulling my own weight or doing anything for the group. So I was in charge of helping us find, that new house. I spent a lot of time doing it. And I also spent a lot of time calling different real estate agents. Now, when you're looking at multi-million-dollar houses, you immediately have to show, proof of funds up front. Somebody has to, give them a credit score, which, I did that because I had very good credit. I needed to collect documents from the other members in the group. Like I said, I had no problem doing this because I was one of the, the core four, some people called it at the time. But to say I was lazy and wasn't pulling my own weight, it's just so untrue. Now, once we found that Yorba Linda house and we moved into it, my responsibility started to grow. I was in charge of collecting rent from all the other members in the house. I was also in charge of utilities, water, gas, electric, gardeners, the people that came to clean the pool. The only time I stopped doing any of this, and the only time I stopped being in every single video, was when my mom got sick in November of 2017, and I took a step back from the group to go and help her out. Now, while I was doing that, I was still doing a lot of things. As a matter of fact, I was still in charge of handling, the electric side of utilities until they kicked me out. And I was still making sure that utilities were being paid. There was even times where they would text me and be like, hey, TD, our water isn't on today. What's going on? I'm trying to figure out what's happening because I paid the water bill. Well, you need to get an annual water test in California. I'm across the country taking care of my mom and still doing things like this to help the group out. But you're going to put out narratives that I was lazy and I wasn't pulling my own weight? I'm actually going to play a video for you guys that Jesse made when I moved out the house. And once again, you guys will see that Jesse, is saying I'm always going to be a part of 2Hype and that I'll always have a room available.
We all love TD. TD is literally one of my best friends. When I found out he had to fully move out, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was depressed. I was so sad because I love TD so much. TD is my boy. He'll always be my boy. He's still in 2Hype. He's still part of the crew. We even told him bro, we'll just keep the room for you. It's okay how long you need to take whatever for your mom. But we all love TD. TD's still 2Hype. He's still one of my best friends. Me and TD got so close when he moved, so it literally was it was crushing. And I know he really didn't want to move out or wanted to, but hopefully we'll reunite in the future. And he's helped me with so much stuff. I've learned so much from TD. TD's the fucking man. And it's so sad that he has to go. I'm gonna miss living with him so much because I absolutely love living with him. Probably when TD's here, I probably talk to TD more than anyone.
And around this time as well, James ended up getting introduced in the group. He ended up moving into the house. Now, this did help me as well because I didn't have to worry about, paying rent there while I wasn't actually at the house. I was trying to help James, who is the new member. I had a $5,000 bed at the house that I said, you know what, James? You can have it. It's all yours. And I would never hold things over people's head or, say things like this. But again, I feel the need to say it to, get rid of these narratives that I wasn't pulling my own weight or anything like that.
I'm someone who doesn't like to lay in bed all day. I think it's kind of annoying, but I've had a change of heart. So I've always had this bed that can change the shape, but I never had it plugged in or used it at the old house because I just didn't have a reason. The bed is just a big chair now. And what do I do when I'm...
For the next 11 months, I was still, part of the group. I was flying out there for videos. I was still posting on my own channel. I had multiple channels at that point. I was still trying to do as much as possible for the group. Now, after 11 months went by, I was finally able to move back to California. And the plan was I was going to be close. I was going to be able to, show up for all the events that were, in LA that we had planned. I was going to show up for all the group videos. I could be in their videos. They could be in my videos. The amount of things that had to happen for me to move back to California was a lot. As a matter of fact, the only reason why I'm able to do what I do, and that's because my brother took on the responsibility to be with my mom 24/7. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do all of these things. So I do want to say, thank you to him. But I just want you guys to, think about all of this stuff I had to go through to move back out to California. I get back to California, things are going well. My channel's doing, pretty well. I did bring Walker with me, so that was nice because since James did end up moving into the house, I didn't have a room available at that time. I thought everything was good. And then just one day, out of the blue, I get the call that I'm kicked out of the group. Not only did I feel blindsided and betrayed, bro, to hear them saying they were starting a group channel, which is like something I always talked about with them and something I always pushed for, and they didn't want to do it.
It's just kind of like, so we have a name when we're all together, when we all make videos. I don't think we'll ever have like a certain separate channel for 2Hype. We all kind of want to, we also want to grow our individual brands, like our individual channels, but just make content together and just keep doing that for as long as we can. And 2Hype just makes it easier to name like when we do group videos. So it's not like an official branded thing, but it's just like a group of friends.
The crazy thing is, I'm just confused by all of this, and I still didn't say anything bad about anybody. I get text messages. I get sent, you know, some of those texts I sent you guys earlier, and I see all these things that were said behind my back. I see them start the group channel, and they start with a house tour, you know, a house that I was promised a room in, and they're showing off things that were mine. Now, I'm not going to say like Jidell's, you know, the bed I gave to Jidell. I'm not going to talk about the fire pit that I bought, because those things are for the group. But personal items, like monitors and, you know, like my weights and stuff like that, things that were mine, they just kept. And they're showing them off in the group video, and I asked for these things back.
Our new gym. This is our gym. So yeah, this is our in-at-home gym. This is a work in progress. It's not done yet, but we literally just got all this stuff like a week ago.
You gotta take a hallway to get here.
I ended up leaving California because, like, that's why I was there. Los ended up leaving California. That's why he was there. I just kept things moving. As a matter of fact, the entire year after I was kicked out the group, pretty much every single month I was breaking personal records. I'm not saying that to like flex or anything like that. It's just this narrative that I wasn't pulling my own weight or getting views, so that's why I got kicked out. Everything was going well, and then earlier this spring, I got very sick. I mean, I was seeing an oncologist. I was going to all these different hospitals. I ended up getting coronavirus, whether that's, you know, what I had the whole time or whether I just, you know, got it along the way. We still don't know up to this point. I specifically remember I was about to get a bunch of tubes of blood drawn. So while I'm doing that, I try to distract myself by like just going on my phone, by texting somebody, you know, reading my comments, anything like that. And I just have all these comments, all these notifications of people attacking me for blocking Jester. Now, I want to make something very clear about me and Jester. Once I got kicked from the group, he never talked to me again. He never reached out once. The last few times I talked to him, I don't even think we ever had an argument in our life. I don't know if me and Jester ever had a disagreement. He just one day, snap of a finger, woke up, ghosted me forever, never talked to me again. The last few times I talked to him, I was getting ready to post like video number 1000 on my channel. And he's like, yeah, I'll be in it. Because I wanted him and Walker in it because I considered them my two best friends. And he's like, yeah, I'll be in it. Like, I remember I had a video idea that, you know, I told him he could have. I almost don't know what to say because I can't comprehend doing that to somebody. And then he makes this video knowing how his audience is going to take it. Well, I'm going through, you know, such a tough time.
I tried reaching out to TD because I was gonna like personally message him, but I followed him the other day and then he blocked me, which is okay.
The thing is, he has my number. Everybody else in the house has my number. You could have just texted me, but instead you make a video saying I blocked you. And even after everything I went through with the group, and even after Jester made this video, I still didn't say anything. I know there's a lot of you out there that you guys say you love me and Jester, because for a long time I did consider him a best friend. But that's why we don't talk anymore. That's why you won't see any videos of me and him ever again. Because he agreed to kick me out the group. He talks about some falling out. I don't know what happened. And he never talked to me again. And that kind of brings us to pretty much the current day. Like I said, I never planned on making this video. I never wanted to. Even as the Mopi situation was unfolding. And I've talked to Mopi. That's like, people are thinking like I'm using the Mopi situation as an opportunity. No, that was never the case. It was only until Jidell and Chris, you know, said those things about me that I'm like, okay, If they're going to say this and tell these stories, I'm putting my side out there. And then one more false narrative that I want to put to rest is the Walker situation. I never asked for Walker to be in the group. I never pushed for Walker to be in the group. Walker got invited to the group because he started being in a lot of their videos. He started helping with a lot of their videos. You know, that's another thing to keep in mind. Like, people are like, oh, he's only in like 3 or 4 videos. Okay, he may have only recorded 3 or 4 videos for his channel. He was in a lot of videos. Walker and Zach became extremely close. As a matter of fact, I would say Walker and Zach became closer than me and Zach ever were. Those guys were streaming together, playing video games together till like 5 or 6 in the morning every night. They pulled me and Walker aside one day. They said, hey, Walker's going to be in 2 Hype. We're going to announce him into the group. I had no idea. That was the first time I was told about it. I didn't agree with how they were doing it. They said they're going to host these 2 Hype editions. And, you know, we're going to make videos of all these people auditioning to be in 2 Hype. And then we're going to announce Walker as, like, the winner of the audition. I even sent the text in the group chat. I was like, yo, I feel like people are going to be mad that, like, they really didn't have a chance at winning. I did put a laughing emoji because that's just me being like, hey, you know, I don't agree with this, but I don't want to step on your toes and just, you know, be a dick about it. I remember texting Walker. I was like, dude, congrats. Like, I really wish, like, I want to talk to him because I don't want them to announce you this way. But yeah, like, you earned it. Like, this was all you. This had nothing to do with me. I've heard stories of, like, this falling out that was caused by, once again, Zach's ex-girlfriend. She caused this falling out between Zach and Walker and Zach and Los, and just more manipulation and just completely twisting of the situation. I remember a time where, you know, Los was like, dude, it's hard for me to watch your group video because of how I was treated. And I actually just end up putting the video on private. I really don't want to get into a back and forth. There's a lot more things I could have said. There's a lot more things I could have shown. I don't want it to go there. I don't want to be petty. You know, I would love for 2021 to just be free of all this stuff. You guys are still going to get views after all this. Like, your channels aren't going to die. Nobody's doing this for clout. Just stop with all the BS and it'll all be done with, okay? My side is out there. I want to be done with it, but wherever you guys want to bring this, I'll be ready for it, okay? So we'll see what happens.
All right, y'all, in this video, I'm going to address the situation going on right now between me and my group 2 Hype and Tyler, aka Mopi. There's already been like a lot of back and forth, he said, she said, but it's not my objective here. I'm not going to attack anyone or try to put anyone down, and I'm not going to make up any lame excuses for what I've done like I have in the past. I'm going to have receipts on screen, and I also referenced Jesse's video throughout mine a couple times, so make sure you guys go watch that if you haven't yet. Some of the things I'm going to talk about, there's no way to have a receipt, like there's no tangible evidence, and there's going to be times where it's just my interpretation of a situation. But I'm just here to refute the lies that he says in his video and give context to the half-truths, tell my side of things, but also take accountability and apologize for the wrongs that I did do. I'll be addressing the TD video too and talk about the situation with him and Los, but that'll come later in the video. So if you're just here for the Tyler situation, you don't have to sit through the whole thing, but I do encourage you to watch this video all the way through as it does all tie in together. So I'm gonna jump into this, start with Tyler's video. I'm not gonna address every detail because a lot of it has to do with the other guys, and honestly what he says about me directly is mostly circumstantial. I'm gonna show clips from his video and then talk about them, and I will say some of them will be excerpts or cut down, but that's not an attempt to manipulate them. That's just me being compendious, and if you've already watched his video, you'll know the context. And I'll be cutting out the dead spaces when I talk or start to ramble just to keep this video as concise as I can. So first up, we have the cease and desist that he shows here in the beginning.
They sent me a cease and desist letter, so I do need to be careful with what I'm saying because they're threatening to sue me. I've literally only said L-Hype, and I'll be making a video, and they're already sending me a cease and desist letter. Like, what does that tell you? Like,
so he starts out here with a half-truth, and for somebody that wants to accuse us of manipulation, you literally manipulated this situation right here to try to make us look bad. Like Jesse already said in his video, you and your dad threatened us with legal action on November 21st, almost a month before this was sent, causing us to get a lawyer to protect ourselves. And a cease and desist is not a lawsuit. We did not file a lawsuit against you. It's merely a warning not to disparage us or 2 Hype as a collective. And the only way to have a case for defamation is if the statements made are in fact false. So we were basically saying, hey, we saw the insult you tweeted. We saw you were making a video. Don't lie about us online or in that video, which you proceeded to do anyway, but that's besides the point.
Moving on to Zach, he's just one of the fakest people I know, like so manipulative. They make you like hate who they hate, and you only hear their side, and then once you get out, you can hear the other side and be mind blown at how shit actually is, because you only hear their manipulative fake side.
This statement's pretty ironic within itself, because that's literally what you're doing with this video, trying to get people to hate us without knowing both sides of the story. And I never once told you or anyone else in the group not to talk to anyone or not to associate with anyone. You can talk to whoever you want to. I don't give a shit. It's not my concern. And it's funny how you attack Chris and call him manipulative for telling you to unfollow people he doesn't fuck with anymore, when you did the same exact thing to his girlfriend and other girlfriends in the house when you asked them to unfollow your ex when y'all split up. Chris's girlfriend didn't listen to you, so you sent her a long message, immediately screenshotted it and sent it to Chris and tried to convince him that he needed to force her to unfollow your ex because it was disrespectful to you. You did have a much nicer approach than Chris, but the sentiment is the same. And I'm not trying to undermine your feelings here on the situation. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy.
Like earlier this year, I received terrible jokes from Chris and Zach. Like terrible. Like I can't even talk about them. And caused so much pain. Like, and I was already in such a bad place this year. And it's on me that I didn't tell them to stop. The only time the joke stopped after a period of time, when I said I was taking a mental break and not being a part of videos. Then they immediately stopped. That's what it takes for them to stop, I guess.
Now, the jokes that he's talking about were never made. And no, it wasn't anything anti-Semitic like I've had people accusing me of now because of the ambiguity in what he said just there. And I can't get into detail about what he's accusing me of without telling his personal business, which I will not do. He says I made them earlier in the year and they miraculously stopped when he told us he was taking his first week-long break, which was June 14th during the weekly meeting that we have every Sunday as a group. But I didn't hear about these jokes until December 13th, when I went to talk to him in person after he told Jesse that I made these jokes and that he's hated me ever since. Again, the jokes he's accusing me of are 100% not made. And this isn't something that can be proved or disproved with evidence, as it was supposedly in person. But bro, I just wish you would have come to me back when you thought I said it, instead of waiting almost a year and pretending to be cool with me the whole time. Like, we could have squashed it way back then.
Including making me seem mentally unstable, which Jesse, Chris, and Zach have already participated in. Like, Zach was retweeting like mental illness stuff, and it's just like, it's such a joke.
Another lie here, I don't joke about mental illness, as it's something I deal with myself, and I never once tried to make you seem mentally unstable online. And the retweet that he's talking about is this one here that was tweeted on December 12th, the same day that we won the Streamy Award. I first retweeted this tweet here from our 2Hype account as soon as it was posted, and was scrolling through Twitter looking at people celebrating with us, saw her tweet, the shit resonated with me. I figured there were other people out there that follow me that might need to hear it, so I just retweeted it. And Tyler, you didn't even tweet until over an hour after all this happened. It had nothing to do with you, bro.
And I'll never forgive Chris and Zach for turning Jesser into the person he is. Like, he's lived with them for too long, and like, I feel pain in myself as a friend that I couldn't do more for him and help him out. But between Chris, Zach, and James, like, there's nothing I could do, really. I mean, I probably could have done more, but I just have to accept it and move on and just know I can't do anything now.
First of all, bro, Jesse's only lived with me a year longer than you have, and that was in the old 2K house. And at that time, I was still doing electrical engineering, so I was barely ever home. I'm proud of the man Jesse's become. He's done nothing but mature and succeed since the day I met him. And when he bought his house and moved out, he literally told you that you could live with him when our lease ended in Calabasas. It's like you expect this dude to just fuck around and play video games with you all the time, like when you guys were kids. But at some point, bro, people grow up. He's running multiple businesses, he's grinding, and it's unfair that you take that as him not caring about you anymore. You just want to blame everyone else around you for how you're feeling, instead of looking in the mirror and figuring out what you need to do.
Knowing how they talk to like editors and people that are helping them out, and like, it's just, it needs to stop.
I've never talked bad to an editor or anybody else that's ever helped me with a video in any way. And the only editor we've ever had a problem with is this dude here, who's literally a disgruntled ex-employee that used to work for Jesse, but he was constantly late with videos. He was using that his PC specs weren't good enough as an excuse. So Jesse went out and spent thousands of dollars to buy him a brand new PC, never asked him to repay it, but he was still late with videos even after that. So he replaced him. Then we hired him for the 2Hype channel when we first started it in the summer of 2019. And he wasn't performing there, still repeatedly late, getting us like first drafts of the videos and full videos. So he got replaced again. And it's also worth mentioning that this dude inquired about working for Jesse's second channel again when he was looking for editors this past summer. That makes no sense. If we were such shitty people, he wouldn't want to deal with us again.
I've been numbing myself and hurting myself for a while. And yeah, I've been abusing the sauce, the devil's lettuce. I'm not saying the word for demonetization or whatever, but yeah, I've been abusing that, nicotine, and in the past year, alcohol, like really badly. And it got so bad this year, and I tried to quit so many times. I tried to get help. You know, I put like this text, and like this is a great example of the kind of support these guys offer as friends. Talking about starting a drinking problem and stopping it, and just trying to get better. And then everybody only has time to just like it. Like, just thumbs up. Not a single word of encouragement or anything. And just goes back to talking about video shit. And it's like, okay, cool, great support. And then we got Jesser over here immediately texting me after once he sees that for me to be in his sponsored video. Like, I hadn't talked about these issues I've been having. And then he doesn't even acknowledge it.
At the end of this clip, he says, I haven't talked about these issues I've been having, which is true. At that point, we didn't know that he had a substance abuse problem. He was just like anybody else that casually smoked and drank. I did do it more than anyone else in the house, but it wasn't out of the ordinary because he had always done it more than anyone else in the house since the day he moved in. Now in the clip, he shows this message of him giving us a heads up that he was taking another week off. And he tries to say that we didn't show any support at all besides liking the text. Now, just for reference, this was the second time that he extended his break. And like I said earlier, it started June 14th when he told us he was going to take a week off to get like a mental break, take care of some personal administrative stuff, and try to get off nicotine and alcohol. And the next Sunday, June 21st, he said he needed one more week off, and he ended up coming back at the end of June when he made the flight video, and he was a part of a few of our personal channel videos. And as you can see from the date of the text, he tells us this Friday, July 3rd, that he's planning to take another week off. So this was the third week. He took 2 off in June, kind of came back at the end. He wasn't feeling it, so he decided to take another break, which is completely fine. And I'd already talked to him in person a few times about how he was feeling. And I let him know that I was there for him if he needed help with anything during the first 2 breaks. At this time, I actually decided to take a break too because I'd had a rough month in June. I uploaded like 10 times, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to understand I'm in a group. So when I record, there's like 3 or 4 other people recording. So I was in about 40 to 50 videos that month, not counting the 2 hype videos, which are always more extensive. So I was feeling really burnt out, and I kept getting these like waves of sadness that I didn't know what to do about, but I just knew that I needed to take some time to myself and figure it out. And I'd like quickly check in with him when I would bump into him around the house, which was fairly often because we both lived upstairs. And I actually recorded his video for him when he played Flight at the end of June. And if you guys saw Flight's reaction to Tyler's video, he talks about that day and how they were kicking it after the recordings. And Tyler told him that he had been feeling like really sad lately, and then he just kind of like brushed it under the rug and moved on. Now, I was there too, since I recorded for him. And when Flight left, we started talking about it again. And I was telling him how I'd been feeling the same shit lately. That was June 28th. And he told me that he might take another break the next week. And I was like, yeah, I think I will too. So when he sent the message, yeah, I just liked it, but there was way more to it than that. And a few days after that, the first day of my week off, I was talking to him about like helping him get a credit card because that's one of the things he wanted to accomplish during the break is establishing credit. And we made plans to do it later that day, but he texted me and canceled. And then the other part of this text is him asking me to be in a video with Chris after he came back from the break. And we eventually recorded this video, but it never got posted, which happened many more times because he was wanting to switch up his content, but wasn't liking anything that he was making. So he didn't post until this video here on August 26th, where he refers to this himself.
Something else that I've been up to for the past like 2 months is I've actually been recording videos. I have like 9 or 10 videos just sitting that are not edited or anything. The reason I haven't done anything with them is because I haven't been the happiest with my content and I really want to step it up. And I felt like those videos were kind of failures.
During the time he wasn't uploading, he told me that he was having trouble with motivation.
I was kind of lacking some motivation. I was just kind of going through the motions and I wasn't the happiest with the content I was making.
And if you're a YouTuber, you can tell when another YouTuber is having trouble with motivation. So I would like try to do little shit to cheer him up, just to like make him feel better, or like try to like lift him up or like push him to get stuff done. Quick example, I got a Lululemon sponsorship, which was one of his favorite brands, where the winner of the video would get a free outfit. So I just kept sandbagging when he was guarding me so that he would win and get the clothes. And here's an example of me putting in extra effort in his videos during this time and him thanking me for it. This video wasn't ever uploaded either, but it was like a nighttime escape room in the dark. We were having to use like flashlights, and I knew the footage was terrible because you couldn't see anything, but I tried my best to make it good for him and like encourage him. And I know those examples aren't anything super significant, but I was just trying anything to like cheer him up and like be more adamant about holding conversations with him, just so that he would at least feel heard.
While I was not entirely open with how bad things were for me, they'll say like they didn't know and I just kept to myself. It's like if I said I was taking breaks and I wouldn't upload and I wouldn't be around for weeks and like months on end, and no one checked on me for like months and months. And like my living situation, my hallway was so bad. Just everybody walks by it and thinks nothing of it, like what's going on in my room and like what I'm doing to myself in my room. And it's like it got so bad with my hallway that it could be pitch black dark, and I memorized where to step to not step on shit and get to my room. Like, and I don't want to blame my living situation and how I was treating myself on them, but I'm not having it go out there that they were supportive of me or trying to help me. Like, it was just me.
Here he's talking about us not checking on him or helping him clean his room or his hallway. Ever since I knew him, his room was always like consistently messy. So I didn't take that as anything out of the ordinary. I thought it's just how he was.
So much stuff was in my room. I was low-key hoarding for like years.
Now his hallway did get bad. He started buying like hella props for videos, random shit, shopping a lot. And he ran out of space in his room. So he would just like kind of throw it in this hallway of his at the top of the stairs. And yeah, every time you go upstairs, you literally walk right by it. So we would see it all the time, but it wasn't like we thought nothing of it.
As you guys can see, I have a bunch of random stuff. This is stuff that's been bought over the years, impulsively, for videos, whatever it may be. Everything that I need to get out of my living space is in this storage unit. We got this unit, yeah. We got all this stuff. All these video stuff. But wait, oh! We got a second storage unit. Yeah, I wanted to show you guys, so I took out all the costumes and outfits. But yeah, this is what I'm working with for making the YouTube videos now. Before, all this stuff was either in my hallway, in my room, or just somewhere around the house, so I had to take it out.
Eventually it got to the point where it was embarrassing to even have guests over and have them go upstairs and see that. And I tried to help this dude clean up that hallway so many times, but he would always say like, oh, I don't have anywhere to put it, or just make up another excuse. My girlfriend even offered to help him because she was cleaning the whole house before she had a friend come stay back in like November of 2019. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna do it this weekend. And he never did. He finally does it like a month later, and she still acknowledged it and said she was proud of him. That's one of the only times it was clean, until he finally got this storage unit almost a year later and just threw all the shit in it after Jeff had to damn near force him to clean it with him. Throughout the video, he tries to convey this narrative that nobody was there for him, nobody supported him. And I'm gonna be honest, Tyler, I wish I would have been there for you more and helped you out more, and I know I could have done more for you, but you can't honestly say that I didn't try. These messages are from September 27th, which was the night that Tyler told us he didn't want to do the 100 Thieves deal anymore in Discord at the end of our weekly meeting. He had never mentioned anything to a single person about having any issues with the deal before this, so it was a huge shock to everyone. And we asked him if he wanted to discuss it in person, which he agreed to. So we met at Jesse's house, and he proceeded to tell us that he didn't want to do the 100 Thieves deal. He gave like numerous reasons. And he also said that he still wanted to be in the group, but that he needed a real break from everything. And this was also the first night that he finally told us about the substance abuse. He opened up more about his struggles with depression, how he was hurting himself, and how he felt distant from the group. And after the meeting, I texted him, told him I loved him no matter what. And he said he loved me too, and that he hadn't forgotten how much I had done for him. At this point, I knew shit was serious, and I told myself I would do everything I could to try to help this dude in any way possible. Like before, yeah, I was there for him, but it was just different now. Like when you have a friend sitting there telling you that they're down so bad that they're hurting themselves, like that shit made me sick to my fucking stomach, bro. And we asked him that night, like if he wanted to hang out, like try to make him feel better, but he ended up leaving. Everybody else stayed, and we were all pretty emotional about the whole situation. And we were talking. Jesse made a group chat so that we could try to figure out how to help him and make a plan to get him healthy again. And at this time, I was still living at the house. So the next day I woke him up and talked with him. We had a really good talk, and he opened up even more about a lot. He told me how he felt Jesse and Chris had changed, and he didn't feel close with Jesse anymore, and how he thought James was disrespectful, but he didn't express having any problems with me. And he also told me that he was on prescription antidepressants, but that he never really took them because he felt like they would change him, and he wanted to overcome what he was dealing with using his own free will. I told him that there's probably a reason that he was prescribed them, and he agreed to start taking them again and contact his therapist. The next couple days, I would wake up and go straight to his room and check on him, make sure he was getting out of bed, taking his medicine. We went on a couple drives, put the top down. We went and got breakfast one of the days. Like I was just doing anything to try to like get him outside and like talk to him and be there for him and just prove that like I was really there. These messages here are from the days that follow that. We had a 2Hype shoot on the 30th. It was the Lakers versus Heat finals video that we did. And I texted him after the video late that night because I was thinking about him, and I went to his room to check on him and he wasn't there. I saw him the next day, and we made a plan to take his clothes to a wash and fold where you just drop them off in a garbage bag. They clean them, fold them for you. You just go back and pick them up. He said he had some errands to run, but that he would be back later, but I never heard from him. Then the next day I went to his room again, made sure he was good. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be busy tomorrow because I'm moving into my new place, but I'm gonna check on you in the morning before I start moving and shit. And like, I'd already been packing that whole week and getting shit ready, but I was just making sure that I made time for him every single day. Even when I wasn't staying in the house anymore, like I was still checking in on him and like trying to help him. Now that was just our messages. We were still like talking in the group chat before and after that. And a couple days later, we had a group meeting for Tyler where everybody was there, and he showed up in a 100 Thieves jersey, one of the 100 Thieves jerseys that they sent us when we were like first in talks with them. And he expressed how he was feeling better and that he was considering doing the deal again. We had a shoot with 100 Thieves later that week on October 12th for the House Olympics video that's on their channel. And Tyler wasn't in the video, but he did come to the house and he seemed to be in good spirits. He started coming around more, and we all made plans to celebrate that weekend because my channel was about to hit 1 mil. He texted me congrats, and we exchanged a couple more messages, but those would be the last messages until after he was back from rehab. We had a meeting on the 18th, and this is the one that Cash talked about in his video where Jesse got really emotional. Tyler told us that he was thinking about the deal again. He didn't want to do it. He decided that it wasn't for him. And he also told us that he was going to take an extended break from YouTube and from the group, and that he was going to check himself into rehab. His plan was to get sober and then take a few months off, then come back to the group if he decided that's what he wanted to do or when he was ready. We told him to take as much time as he needed, that we'd be here waiting for him. He said that he would make a post on social media explaining everything so that the fans wouldn't be left in the dark. He ended up just posting an IG story saying he was taking a break, and then he texted us this right before he left.
That's how YouTube works. That's how the online scene works. Like, they just block out the hate and just carry on. Like, check this out. These are the blocked words on the 2Hype channel. It's a lot of shit. You can't comment anything negative. They don't allow any negativity. It's like, I'm not being a part of this censorship of the people. Like, you can't criticize when you get blocked, and you just, it's so dumb. It's nothing I want to be a part of.
This makes no sense at all. Censorship of the people sounds like some conspiracy shit. Like, I don't know. Every YouTuber has a blacklist. Every streamer has mods. Nobody wants to sit there and just read comparisons and hate and negativity. Like, that shit is so bad for you mentally. And I find it really hard to believe that's how you feel when you're the one that suggested to the group that we blacklist hate on the channel. And I was told his name would be added when we joined 100 Thieves because we knew people would see he wasn't part of it and they would ask what's happening, and he never made a permanent post letting people know what was going on. We weren't going to put his business out there, so we just made the statement that we made at the end of the Among Us video on the 2Hype channel on November 12th. And you even say later in this next clip that you yourself don't like seeing that. It's obviously out of context, but again, the sentiment is the same.
Like, we want to know, we want the people to know what the truth is for ourselves, so that we don't see like comments, like not knowing what's really going on and things up in the air and assumptions made.
And this right here is the last clip that Tyler mentions me in.
And just more nasty, weird stuff that I saw in rehab made my decision of leaving much, much easier. Because that's a big reason why I went to rehab. I wanted to get sober and decide if I wanted to be a part of stuff or not.
I tweeted this because I was watching the video and I was thinking about you, bro. You were in rehab at this point, and I was under the assumption that we were cool going off the last time we had talked. This wasn't to try to make myself look good. I had no reason to do that. None of this video is meant to devalue Tyler's feelings. He has a right to feel however he wants. And at the end of the day, I feel like all this could have been solved with communication. I don't have any animosity towards you, Tyler. I got no problems with you. I still love you. I'm still here if you need anything. And I sincerely apologize if I ever made you feel like you were alone or hurt your feelings, bro. I'm sorry. I wish I could have been there more for you. I wish I could have done more for you. I wish I could have been better for you. And hopefully one day we can resolve all this. Moving on to TD's video. Now I'm going to be quick with this one. Most of this stuff was years ago, and I don't blame TD for making a video. He hasn't really said much over the years. And if he feels like he needs to get his side out there to feel better or to bring hate to us, that's fine. I can take it. Now, TD's not a bad person. None of these dudes are. And he really did do a lot for us in lining up the Yorba Linda house. And I never really had any glaring issues with him as a person. With that being said, there are some lies and manipulation in the video that he dropped that I'm gonna address, starting with what he says here in the beginning.
I'm not gonna go, take a deep dive into the group chat and, show like gossip and try and take text and manipulate them and try and, twist the story. I'm not gonna do any of that. And I'm not gonna be like Chris and put text up on screen and try and manipulate them.
This is just funny because this is exactly what you do multiple times throughout the video, just like this next part.
I thought everything was good. And then just one day, out of the blue, I get to call that I'm kicked out of the group. Not only did I feel blindsided and betrayed, bro, to hear them saying they were starting a group channel, which is like something I always talked about with them and something I always pushed for, and they didn't want to do it.
Here's the first example of you doing this. You black out my last name, but you leave the message there, knowing it looks really bad out of context and has literally nothing to do with the point you're trying to make in that clip. And you did this on purpose to further your narrative that I'm some complete piece of shit person. And now I have people spamming me crazy shit because they think I made fun of a Make-A-Wish kid. Here's the full text so that you guys can see for yourselves. Now, I will say that even though I wasn't making fun of someone in the Make-A-Wish program, it was still extremely distasteful to use that as an insult, and I apologize for that.
I moved back to California to be close to you guys, and so I could be in the group, and so we could do videos together. These people told me that the plan was they're gonna get like this huge house in Calabasas, and that I would have a spot back in the house.
I don't know who the hell told you that, but it was never a group discussion. Also, you already had a place with your girlfriend in Newport, and we're getting a second place with Walker and his brother, so that claim literally makes no sense.
And then also, I was getting with the landlord's daughter that created all this awkward tension. I don't know what he's grasping at here, or what he's, again, trying to manipulate. So we moved into this house. I had a good relationship with the landlords. They had 2 daughters. The whole family, successful, smart. He's trying to twist and manipulate this story. I never even held hands with this girl. So as far as anything to that extent, just completely untrue.
And here's a 4K picture of the landlord's daughter at the SneakerCon basketball game that you brought her to in July of 2017. She's sitting on the bench beside me and Brie Martinez. She's holding the jersey that you gave her before the game. You also posted a picture with her wearing the jersey and your arm around her on the IG feed, not story, Instagram feed, which is unfortunately now deleted. But if you were a fan back then you remember. She was over at the house multiple times, many of which you were alone in your room, and all of which is really weird to do with someone you didn't even hold hands with.
They've stolen from me. I see them start the group channel, and they start with a house tour, you know, a house that I was promised a room in, and they're showing off things that were mine. Now, I'm not going to say like Jidal's, you know, the bed I gave to Jidal. I'm not going to talk about the fire pit that I bought, because those things were for the group. But personal items, like monitors, and, you know, like my weights and stuff like that, things that were mine, they just kept. And they're showing them off in the group video, and I asked for these things back.
Our new gym. This is our gym. So yeah, this is our in-at-home gym. This is a work in progress. It's not done yet, but we literally just got all this stuff like a week ago.
You gotta take a hallway to get here.
This is another blatant lie. First off, the only two things in that weight room that used to be yours are this bench right here and these two dumbbells over here, both of which you left at the old house even after you moved back to California and could have easily got them. You never asked for them back, and when the lease was up, you never came to get them. You just left them there for us to deal with. The bench was in the garage covered in spider webs and dust, and the dumbbells were broken. I was the last one in that house, and the day that I moved out, I cleaned off the bench and washed it. I fixed the dumbbells and bent back the little metal pieces that were broken, loaded them into my moving truck, and I took them to the new house. The rest of that stuff we literally got about a week before the video was filmed. Now, I don't know what monitors you're talking about, but the posters that you say we stole, you literally left at the Yorba Linda house too. The only one you came to get was this rocket poster that you have hanging on your wall now. And here's the messages between us to prove that. When you came to get it, you literally said you didn't want the other posters because you were going to get new ones, but you were unable to find another rocket poster like you say here in the text. So that's the only one you took. You could have gotten the rest of your stuff too, but you didn't.
As a matter of fact, I was still in charge of handling, you know, the electric side of utilities until they kicked me out. And I was still making sure that utilities were being paid. There was even times where they would text me and be like, hey, TD, our water isn't on today. What's going on? I'm trying to figure out what's happening because I paid the water bill. Well, you need to get an annual water test in California. I'm across the country taking care of my mom and still doing things like this to help the group out.
While I appreciate what you did, bro, nobody asked you to do it. All you had to do was call the utility companies, tell them you didn't live there anymore and take it out of your name. Then one of us would have to call them and put it in our name. And here are the messages of Chris and I handling the water situation, not you.
You're on the other side of me, you know, getting kicked out. So in your opinion, was this like business or was this personal?
It was for sure business, but they tried to tie in like whatever little personal stuff they could to try to make it seem less about the business. But it was going from 9 people to 6 and cutting out shares for everyone in the company.
Obviously, this is just hearsay and it's complete bullshit. There had never even been a discussion about shares in the company at this point, and everybody in the group agreed that it was best for the group to move forward without Los, TD, and Mao. Like any decision, it was a mixture of business and personal, but only business in the sense that the vision that we had for the group channel and what we wanted to do as a group, we felt like would be more easily accomplished without them in the group, which again, everybody agreed on.
You know, show like gossip and try and take text and manipulate them and try and, you know, twist the story. I'm not going to do any of that. But here's just a few of them. And like I said, these are between Chris and Zach. Zach texts Chris saying, dude, shit's crazy. And I know he be nasty host too. Chris responds with, yeah, taking whatever he can. Laugh my ass off. Zach then followed it up with, exactly. Sheesh. Here's another one. Zach texts Chris saying, did you get a long ass text from Lewis? Chris says, laugh my ass off. Yep, gotta love it. Best apology yet, haha. Zach says, laugh my ass off, bro. I don't even know what to say to him at this point. I think he's only saying this because he saw the stuff we've been putting on Twitter. Well, that's interesting because Chris also complained about us putting out subliminal messages. You kind of are admitting right there that that's what you did to Los, and that's why he sent you an apology. Chris says, I haven't responded yet, but yeah, most likely, laugh my ass off. And Zach says, I haven't either. I've already said all I can say like 20 times at this point. LOL. And Chris said, yep, I think I'm going to just say that. Haha.
I know the first clip was out of context, but it still applies as it's a blatant contradiction. He blacks out a huge chunk of that first text, leading people to believe that I said something super fucked up, but it was literally just a joke. Here's the full text so that you guys can see exactly what we were talking about. And for the second part, this is the tweet that we were referring to. It was nothing subliminal like you claim. And like we said in the text, we had already been down this road with Los before. And the apology was for not working to his full potential, not for anything he did to us, because honestly, he didn't do anything to us and he never really did. Now, regardless, it was shitty to even say anything behind his back. I don't know what my problem was back then. I think I was just unhappy with myself and some of the situations I was in. And I would project that onto Lewis, but no matter the reason, it was fucked up. And when everything went down a couple years ago with Los and he found out that I was talking behind his back, I made up a bunch of lame ass excuses instead of just owning up to it. Now, I did apologize to him back then. Here's the message I sent. And that was the last time I spoke to him, but I don't blame him for not accepting it because the message is literally right above it were me trying to make excuses. But I did mean what I said, and I want to apologize to him again. Los, I'm sorry, bro. I fucked up and then tried to blame you when it wasn't your fault. We had a good ass friendship and a lot of genuine times together. Like, I'd be traveling for work and I would go to Jersey in between jobs to kick it with him on some like real shit. Like a lot of times we wouldn't even stream. We would just go hoop or like chill in the attic. I met his family, who I also owe an apology to, Jake and his dad, for doing that to their brother and son. I'm sorry to y'all too. I still got love for you, bro. You're one of the most entertaining streamers on any platform. And I'm sorry for the betrayal, man, and I wish you nothing but the best. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is the leaked Discord call. Supposedly an old friend of Jesse's leaked it, but it was TD who recorded it and leaked it. Now, TD was at his house, but we were all in the same room at the 2Hype house on one phone in a private Discord. Why the fuck would some random friend of Jesse's be in a call where we're telling a member of the group that we don't want him in the group anymore? And in the clip, you can see him looking at his monitor when he's talking about it because he has the full call right there. And then he acts surprised when it got leaked on Twitter, like, come on, bro, you're not fooling anyone with that shit. And everyone took turns talking on this call, but it was only Chris and I's part that got leaked because we're supposed to be the villains here.
And I'm going to play audio for you guys that ended up getting leaked. And I really wish the entire conversation was out there because it would have looked a whole lot worse. But we're going to play what we got.
Tight schedule that we're going to start doing now that we've moved out, we're getting settled in. Like, things are going to move really quick and like at a large scale. And like, we didn't want to just put it like the group channel out and stuff and like not have you like aware. And then also like, given that we see, like, we're kind of like foreshadowing, like looking forward to where this movement's going to go, and like we didn't see like you being like a part of it. We also just wanted to like come to you, like, we'd hope that you could build like your own narrative as to how like we're not like together. And then like, you know, we wanted you to like let us know like how you wanted to go about that. Like, are you like, do you plan on, because we didn't want to like publicly say this and everything. I think like we told Lopez, like, you guys can like build your narrative, you know, like,
yeah, we wanted to be like, you are like stepping away from 2Hype and going your own way because you want to focus on yourself and like feel like it would be easier to do it, you know, that way. We also don't want to just come out and say like, yeah, we kicked TD out and like have like some sort of negative connotation towards you, or have the fans have some negative connotation towards you, because we don't want to affect you on that. And like Cash was saying, like, it's not like, and Chris was saying, it's not like we still can't make videos. Like, it's not like you can't come over, or like can't play games together. You can't text us whenever you need something. Like, we're still boys.
Yeah.
This was a call in Discord.
This was probably some of the dumbest shit we ever did. Now, I said that I didn't want any negativity going towards them or towards us. And I thought that's what we were doing by going about it this way. But looking back, let's be honest, we were just trying to cover our own asses because what we were doing was dumb as fuck. It was a bitch move, and we should have just been honest with them, been transparent with y'all, and just dealt with whatever repercussions we got because of our actions. Simple. I apologize to you guys, Los, TD, and Mal, for that shit. We went about it completely the wrong way. But everybody's doing their thing. Mal's doing his thing. TD's doing his thing. Los is killing it on Twitch. Mopi's going to do his thing and hopefully stay healthy. And I just hope that we can deal with this situation and everyone can move forward amicably. And I owe one more apology. That's to you guys, the fans, and everyone that supports us. I'm sorry for not being fully transparent in these situations and handling them the wrong way, which in turn caused all this shit and made you guys feel like you had to pick sides. And I don't blame you guys for judging me or sending hate messages, because on the surface, it did look really bad, but I just hope this video gave you guys some insight. But I'm gonna get back to work, get back to putting out content for you guys. I'm gonna start the reactions back up on the second channel and just bust my ass to make the most out of this year. I'm sorry this took so long, but there was just so much shit that needed to be said. And I've definitely learned a lot from this, and I'm gonna do better and be better. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
I'm going to start off this video by saying pretty much the same thing I said in my last video about this topic. The only reason why I made a video was because Jidal put out a series of tweets with baseless claims, and Chris put out a now deleted 43-minute video with more baseless claims about my name. I know a lot of you guys are like, TD, it's been almost 2 years. You didn't say anything for the longest time. Why are you now getting involved? It wasn't because of the Mopi situation. It was because of Jidal's tweets in the video Chris put out. For anybody saying I'm doing this for money, I want you to think about this. I told you guys in my first video, I have a legal team overlooking everything. Now, attorneys are extremely expensive. If you do a quick Google search, you'll see that attorneys charge from anywhere from $100 to $500 per hour. I got 2 attorneys working with me. They charge $350 per hour. They've spent a lot of time overlooking my videos. They've spent a lot of time watching their videos. And even if you're just having a phone call with them, all of those hours add up. I will not be responding to either Jesser or Jidal. They didn't say my name in their video, so I have nothing to say about it. And I will say, if you guys haven't seen my first video on this topic, maybe go back, watch that one first, then you can watch this one, and things might make more sense.
Moving on to TD's video. Now, I'm gonna be quick with this one. Most of this stuff was years ago, and I don't blame TD for making a video. He hasn't really said much over the years, and if he feels like he needs to get his side out there to feel better or to bring hate to us, that's fine.
The first thing I want to say to this is, if you guys are subbed to me, if you have any respect for me, please do not send hate to anybody. I'm not telling you guys to unsub to anybody. The only reason why I was making these videos was to clear my name. I don't want anybody that's subbed to me or has respect for me to be sending hate towards anybody else. These people told me that the plan was they're gonna get like this huge house in Calabasas, and that I would have a spot back in the house.
I don't know who the hell told you that, but it was never a group discussion. Also, you already had a place with your girlfriend in Newport, and we're getting a second place with Walker and his brother, so that claim literally makes no sense.
So the first claim that Zach makes is that he didn't know, or it wasn't a group discussion, that I was invited to live in the new house. At the end of the day, this is all hearsay from both me and Zach, so you guys will have to make your own decision on what you think is the truth. Or you can believe, you know, both of us or neither of us, whatever you guys want to do. My only reaction to that is the only time I ever stepped away from the group was to go take care of my mom. Once I got that taken care of, I then moved back to California. The reason why I didn't move back into the house was because James moved into it, so there was no rooms available. I had a face-to-face conversation. I was told about the plan of you guys moving into the bigger house. I was told I would have a room and I would move back into the house with you guys. Now, you guys have seen, you know, 2Hype members over the years say how I'm always going to be in 2Hype and, you know, my room will always be available.
He's still in 2Hype. He's still part of the crew. Like, we even told him, like, bro, we'll just keep the room for you. It's okay how long, like, you need to take whatever for your mom. But we all love TD. TD's still 2Hype. He's still, like, one of my best friends. And, like, I know he really didn't want to move out or, like, wanted to. But hopefully we'll reunite in the future. And he's helped me with so much stuff. Like, I've learned so much from TD. TD's the fucking man. And it's so sad that he has to go. Like, I'm going to miss living with him so much because I absolutely love living with him. Probably when TD's here, I probably talk to TD more than anyone.
That is why I got my own place, was because there was no rooms available in the Yorba Linda house. And then again, that's why I moved from California after I got kicked out, because that's the only reason why I was there.
You were talking with the landlord's daughter in the old 2Hype house, and that caused so much tension, dude.
And here's a 4K picture of the landlord's daughter at the SneakerCon basketball game that you brought her to in July of 2017. She was over at the house multiple times, many of which you were alone in your room, and all of which is really weird to do with someone you didn't even hold hands with.
They're still trying to run with this narrative that I was getting with, you know, the landlord's daughter, and that created this awkward tension. Well, I recently had a phone conversation with the old landlords, and then they actually sent me a text saying I could reach out to their daughter and that she would, you know, help me with anything I need. I kind of gave her a quick brief on the situation, and then she says right there that what they're saying is completely untrue. I do want to point out two things. If you look at the top, the phone number matches the same one that the old landlord gave me. And number two, the date is January 1st, because I figured they would come back and try and say something about this again. So I wanted to have something already ready. And I do want to follow up and say, if me and their daughter had like this, falling out that created this awkward tension, why 2 years later are they taking my phone calls and willing to have my back? And the final thing I want to say about this situation is they weren't happy about you guys because of how you treated the house and how you were late paying bills. But personal items like monitors and, like my weights and stuff like that, things that were mine, they just kept. And they're showing them off in the group video. And I asked for these things back.
Our new gym. This is our gym. So yeah, this is our in-at-home gym. This is a work in progress. It's not done yet, but we literally just got all this stuff like a week ago.
You gotta take a hallway to get here.
This is another blatant lie. First off, the only two things in that weight room that used to be yours are this bench right here and these two dumbbells over here, both of which you left at the old house even after you moved back to California and could have easily got them. You never asked for them back, and when the lease was up, you never came to get them. You just left them there for us to deal with.
Zach is saying the only two things in that room were the bench and the weights. Now, I'll put it up on screen. Even just the bench and those weights, those go for a lot. That might not be the exact model up on screen, but it's pretty darn close, and you guys get a good idea. An argument Zach makes is that all I had to do was ask for these things back, but that's why I said I wish the full Discord call did get leaked, because pretty much the end of that call was me asking how I was going to get my stuff back.
The only one you came to get was this rocket poster that you have hanging on your wall now. And here's the messages between us to prove that. When you came to get it, you literally said you didn't want the other posters because you were going to get new ones. But you were unable to find another rocket poster like you say here in the text. So that's the only one you took. You could have gotten the rest of your stuff too, but you didn't.
He does put up on screen text of me asking for the Rocket Raccoon poster back. Now, if you guys look at the text, this was from October of 2018. I didn't get kicked out until 6 months later. At this time, I had no problem that they were using my stuff. And in fact, you see the next text I put is me asking if he already had taken that poster down, because I didn't want to take anything that were up on his walls, even if they were mine. And we actually had a conversation that there's no point in me taking all my stuff, because again, the plan was for me to move into this bigger house. So they're just going to hang on to my stuff and it was going to be there for me. As a matter of fact, I was still in charge of handling, the electric side of utilities until they kicked me out. And I was still making sure that utilities were being paid. There was even times where they would text me and be like, hey, TD, our water isn't on today. What's going on? I'm trying to figure out what's happening because I paid the water bill. Well, you need to get an annual water test in California. I'm across the country taking care of my mom and still doing things like this to help the group out.
While I appreciate what you did, bro, nobody asked you to do it. All you had to do was call the utility companies, tell them you didn't live there anymore and take it out of your name. Then one of us would have to call them and put it in our name. And here are the messages of Chris and I handling the water situation, not you.
In that clip, Zach says I should have just asked them to take the utilities out of my name. I want to make it clear, and I said this in my first video, the reason why I brought these things up was because there was baseless claims that I wasn't pulling my own weight. I had no problem doing this for you guys. Even when I was across the country, the reason why I brought it up was to shut that narrative down. Now, Zach does go on to say that I could have just said, hey, I want this out of my name, but there's a whole process that goes into, getting utilities out of your name and putting it into somebody else's name. You can't just switch it into somebody's name. Everybody has to have a separate account. So they would actually have to go to the house, shut off the electricity, shut off the water, and then put it into Chris's name and turn everything back on. It's a little bit of a process. Since I was still in the group, that kind of seemed like too much of a headache, so I had no problem still doing those things. Again, the reason why I brought it up was to get rid of that narrative that I wasn't pulling my own weight. Zach then says that him and Chris had to deal with the water situation, so Bree contacted me and she said the water wasn't on. I then reached out to the landlord and I spent time even trying to contact the water company, and that's how we figured out what was going on.
Here are the messages of Chris and I handling the water situation, not you.
I did notice Chris sent a text saying that only me or the landlord would know about the annual water test. Well, that's not true because in California, it's a law. They have to put something on your door. They have to put something physical on your property before they shut down either water or electricity. Zach texts Chris saying, dude, shit's crazy. And I know he be nasty host too. Chris responds with, yeah, taking whatever he can. Laugh my ass off. Zach then followed it up with, exactly. Sheesh.
He blacks out a huge chunk of that first text, leading people to believe that I said something super fucked up, but it was literally just a joke. Here's the full text so that you guys can see exactly what we were talking about.
Zach's defense to this was apparently it's a joke. Now, it seems like Los didn't think this was a joke.
Literally just a joke. Here's the full text so that you guys can see exactly what we were talking
Wait, hold on. Okay. Wait, I need to hear from his mouth him say this again. Hold on. Let me hear this.
a huge chunk of that first text, leading people to believe that I said something super fucked up, but it was literally just a joke. Here's the full text so that you guys can see exactly.
It's literally just a joke. The fact that these two dudes are supposed to be my friends and sitting here talking about fucking nasty hoes taking whatever he can get. I know he be raw dogging. How is this even explain? Like, how do you explain this? I'm supposed to be their friends. This is the shit that's being said.
And a streamer by the name of Chenzo was also reacting to this video, and this is what he had to say about the situation.
I just need to tell you how I feel, all right? You fucking snake me, bro. You cut me off from your fucking circle or whatever, bro. I know people were talking shit behind my back. I know people were saying shit. I know that there was somebody in there that was giving me the information. I'm just saying that you were fucked up, bro. That's all I gotta say. And what's crazy now is how the tables have turned, right? Is how the tables have turned. No one fucks with you here, bro. That's why you never be on here, bro. You're only on here for sponsorships and for fucking making money. That's it, bro. All right? We all miss the old Zach, bro. The old Zach, obviously everyone misses him. But that's not you anymore, bro. You're a snake, bro.
Zach says I put this black box on screen to make it seem like he said something messed up. Zach texts Chris saying, dude, shit's crazy. And I know he be nasty host too. Chris responds with, yeah, taking whatever he can. Laugh my ass off. Zach then followed it up with, exactly. Sheesh. You guys can hear the audio. I read the conversation straight through. I don't say anything about the black box. The reason why I put that black box was to blur out the picture, and I did the same thing when it came to your guys' last name.
Now, TD was at his house, but we were all in the same room at the 2Hype house on one phone in a private Discord.
I can tell you guys this is not true because Cash was not at the house when we got kicked.
And in the clip, you can see him looking at his monitor when he's talking about it because he has the full call right there.
How would he know what's on screen of my monitor? That just makes no sense. I think a better question is why didn't you guys have the balls to kick me in person? Because if you guys never did it over a Discord call, none of that would have ever happened. But that's the reason why we're in this mess now. Because it's not what you guys did, it's how you've handled it. And I want to make that clear as well. Nobody beforehand told me like, hey TD, you gotta start showing up more or you're gonna get kicked out. Or hey TD, there's some beef going on, you guys gotta hash it out. I randomly got called up one day and was told I got kicked from the group. You guys couldn't even call me and tell me to come to the house and look me straight in the eyes while you kicked me.
Tight schedule that we're gonna start doing now that we've moved out, we're getting settled in, like things are gonna move really quick and like at a large scale, and like we didn't want to just put it like the group channel out and stuff and like not have you like aware, and then also like given that we see like we're kind of like foreshadowing like looking forward to where this movement's gonna go, and like we didn't see like you being like a part of it. We also just wanted to like come to you and, like, we'd hope that you could build like your own narrative as to how like we're not like together. And then like, you know, we wanted you to like let us know like how you wanted to go about that. Like, are you like, do you plan on, because we didn't want to like publicly say this and everything. I think like we told Logos like you guys can like build your narrative, you know, like
yeah, we
want
to like we want it to be like you are like stepping away from too hype and going your own way because you want to focus on yourself and like you feel like it would be easier to do it, you know, that way. You also don't want to just come out and say like, yeah, we kicked TD out and like have like some sort of negative connotation towards you, or have the fans have some negative connotation towards you, because we don't want to affect you on that. And like Cash was saying, like, it's not like, and Chris was saying, it's not like we still can't make videos. Like, it's not like you can't come over, or like can't play games together. You can't text us whenever you need something. Like, we're still boys.
Yeah. This was probably some of the dumbest shit we ever did. Now, I said that I didn't want any negativity going towards them or towards us. And I thought that's what we were doing by going about it this way. But looking back, let's be honest, we were just trying to cover our own asses because what we were doing was dumb as fuck. It was a bitch move, and we should have just been honest with them, been transparent with y'all, and just dealt with whatever repercussions we got because of our actions. Simple. I apologize to you guys, Los, TD, and Mal for that shit. We went about it completely the wrong way.
I will give Zach props. He did take accountability. He also did apologize. I don't want to sound petty, but it's unfortunate that it took leaked calls and texts from, you know, third parties, and it took kind of the Mopi situation to bring clarity to everything. Because here's the thing, and like I said earlier, it's not what you guys did, it's how you handled it. If you guys were transparent, like you said, and you know, you said, hey, we kicked out TD, we kicked out Los, we kicked out Malcolm, we want to go a different direction. I probably would have been salty for like a week or two. The fans probably would have been salty for like a week or two. But then everybody would have been over it. And that's how the internet works. The internet forgets and forgives pretty quickly, especially when you make good content. You guys have never heard me bag on 2Hype's content. You guys have never even heard me say the phrase L hype. All I wanted from the beginning was transparency. That's how I'm gonna end this video right here. I think we can kind of all agree to just disagree. Like I said earlier in the video, if you respect me, if you watch my videos, if you're subbed to me, please do not send anybody else hate. It does seem like everybody involved in this situation, and it seems like most of the fans are just over it. They want to see your guys' normal videos. They want to see my normal videos. They want to see low stream, you know, regular things, and not, you know, reacting to all these videos that are being put out. I wish everybody in the group the best. It sucks that it came to this, because at one time I considered a lot of these guys friends, even best friends. And I hope all of you guys watching this can learn something so you don't find yourself in a similar situation.